Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Adeptus Ridiculous Podcast. My name is DK Diamantes, his name is Bricky, and once more, we have dragged Kirioth out of the walls to tell us, obviously, about War of the Beasts. But before he does, if you enjoy today's episode of the podcast and perhaps you want to support us monetarily, head over to patreon.com/Adeptus Ridiculous, where you can access to the Discord, bloopers if they happen. $15 tier gets you access to all of our posters in just the crispiest, most loveliest digital form. You should check it out. Patreon.com/Adeptus Ridiculous. Ricky.
And, that's my name, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's me. I'm Bricky. That's my name.
Hello.
And I have a very special announcement coming up from Shy. Shy, well, which I guess doesn't mean that I have a special announcement, but yeah. Shy is making a brand new official Shy plushie over at Makeship. It's been the longest time because obviously Shy's little cherub design is super fucking dope. Our artist Halistay came up with it, and obviously Makeship does amazing plushies. In fact, so much so that like even though we have perused the idea of plushies on the official Orchid merch site, we just can never quite do them as good as Makeship does. So whenever like one of our new clients comes in, we're like, hey, if you want a plushie, just go with Makeship. Like it's just better at this point. And so in order to make that happen, it's a very quick limited time Kickstarter to go with it. So it's a 2-part mission. Part 1 is the petition. And for the next 10 days, so you'll have one more episode with us for a short period of time. We need about 200 folks to support the petition with a pledge of only $2. And if it does not hit the 200 pledges, do not worry. Your money will be refunded. All is good. But if we got the 200, we get the green light. And after that, we get the full campaign, which is when it goes into official production. We get a full-on prototype, a full final reveal, and then launch the final 3-week campaign. And that's when anyone can order the fancy Shy plush. So basically, first things first, show your interest. If you are interested, it's a quick $2 kind of initial pledge. And then if we hit the 200, then we can go ahead and get full production on the plushie. The link will be down in the description. Give it a look-see, give it a watch. And yeah, so check out Makeship and check out the Shy plushie.
That's so fucking cool.
I knew you didn't know. I forgot that was what we were announcing today, and I was like, I feel like DK's gonna like this. He likes the small, cute stuff.
You announced that, and you showed the link, and my mouth was agape the whole time. That's so cool. I love that. Do it. Make it happen.
I do love a good little plushie.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I do love a good little plushie. They are a ton of fun, and yeah, it's good stuff.
Are you saying it's just a little plushie?
It's just a little plushie. That's so true, DK. It is just a little plushie. No, Adeptus Ridiculous. Don't turn me into a marketable plushie.
Too late. It's been done, Shy. You are now the marketable plush.
Well, if we hit the 200 pledges. So check it out in the description and all that good stuff. And then I will buy a large jar. Anyway, Kirioth, how you doing?
God, the fact you both went there at the same time.
Well,
yeah, well,
worrying.
You know, it's fine. Yeah. It's how it is.
That's a sign of spending too much time together. That's what that is.
Yeah, we've been doing this podcast for too long.
Way too long.
Way too long. But hey, Kirioth, so how about that Vulcan character assassination, eh?
Yeah. Oh my God. I was going to ask what you remembered from last week. But
we watched from death.
No, I remember a lot from last week. I remember more from last week than I do from the week before that.
Yeah, there was some quotes last week that I think may well stay with us for quite some time, whether we like it or not.
I can't believe. You know what? There was one comment that I think really does seal it in the way that you would expect it to be, which is the Watch from Death one, which is like, well, I know this is stupid, but I don't have any time to change it. And then the editor goes, oh, I know this is stupid, but I got no time to change this. And then here it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It really feels
Yeah.
like that. It just feels like such a massive crunch. And it's like, I know some people have been like, "Oh, well, just because it all came out this quickly doesn't mean they had to make it that quickly." And it's like, "Brother, the writing is on the wall." Well, it's in the book too, but like it sounds like it is a very clear case of nobody had enough time.
I would
I
suggest that if anything, it shows they had less time than the
Yeah.
books were released in.
I will say there's a phrase, and I need to pull it up because I don't remember where I saw it, but I think it was in regards to um talking about the Mass Effect trilogy and
Mhm.
how because I'm going back and replaying it because I'm doing this video on it, and I'm trying to talk a little bit more about a lot of the specifics, a lot more about like, hey, like how was the development process and stuff like that. And I kind of forgot, like I know crunch in the BioWare magic. Was an obvious like major issue with a lot of it, but I always forget like how bad it was, like how extremely detrimental it was. But there was a thing, and I don't remember exactly how it's stated, but basically it's something on the lines of like there are 3 parts when you make like a film, and there's like writing, production, and then editing or something like that. I'm sure someone can help me with this. But it's the thing where each one of those times is a time where things can get way better, and each of one of those is where things can get way worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember now. It's pre-planning before the shoot, and then the edit. So there's 3 chances to save it, and then 3 chances to make it
To
much,
fumble
much
it.
worse.
Yep.
That's how that goes. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Well,
I found out the decision on this one.
It feels like
just a
3 catastrophic whoops.
well, I'd having, of course, gone through Possum's work. A lot of it very familiar, which is reassuring to me because I was starting to think I was losing my mind. I hate to say it, I don't necessarily know that you're going to feel that it's got better, but I do have to ask.
I
Possum's very
wasn't worried
keen.
about that.
Yeah,
I
definitely
was not worried about that, man.
was not on the bingo card for War of the Beasts final episode. Nope.
Possum does want to know, on a scale of woo to wee, how are we all feeling? Are we
Hey, listen, it's like the big man SGA says, having no or losing a beast is better than having no beast.
Oh. Yeah, woo.
Ooh, yeah,
Ooh.
I'm feeling pretty woo right
Pretty
now.
woo, yeah.
Not
It's a
feeling that
woo
wee.
out of 10 for sure, yeah.
well, so
Shy's ready to go postal, so, you know.
This is gonna be my Joker origin story. He's a shy.
But, that's a solid 10-minute intro. We got some stuff rolling today because there's another, hour and 30 left, if at minimum.
oh, yeah. Oh, it easily. So, I'll give
I
you
was
the
gonna say
title
if he
first.
really moves along.
I'm gonna try and blast through like you wouldn't believe, partially, to make the pain go away quicker. So, the title for this script is War of the Beast Part 4: The Civil War. Again,
That's pretty good.
excellent work.
Nice.
Excellent work.
I like that one, that's pretty good.
So we're going to start this off with a bit of backtracking, as some context is needed that will become very important later on. And also, Possum didn't want to overload us with too many names and nicknames that are all really similar, which you'll understand in a second. We'd mentioned in the previous episode the Venenom assassin Isad Wire working directly with Vangorich, the best character in this series, and his history with Vangorich is long-standing because Isad is a bit of a monster. So Isad is a man of immense strength due to the fact that the bones in his hands have been replaced by plasteel.
Yeah,
Oh.
that they did that shit to Wolverine too, and yeah, it made him pretty
Yep.
strong.
Yeah, it sure did. Can't go through metal detectors though.
No, it's a real issue at airports.
Particularly weak against that one Magneto Psyker too.
Yeah.
this guy can essentially just punch through people thanks to the plasteel in the hands. He's also more or less a warrior monk, and he served under Draken years ago, but under another name, which was Beast Cruel. Because
Ouch.
Wait, no way.
Oh.
There's another beast?
yes,
There's another
beast.
person named Beast?
Yeah, there's another guy called Beast. Beast Cruel. Cruel, I have to point out, is obviously spelt how it should be, which is not with the
Not
word
correct.
cruel.
Legally distinct cruel. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't have it just be the word cruel. That's too on the nose. You've got to throw some spice on it.
Why that's not creative enough.
It's not creative enough when it's talking about a guy called Beast Cruel.
In the War of the Beast. Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry,
dear.
It's the war of the Beast Cruel.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
At least venomous assassins are sick.
They are.
He's got that going for him. Not much else, but he does have that. So after his time as an assassin, he was able to partially retire, serving mostly as an arbitrator. But as the war broke out, Vangorich approached him and took him back under his wing. Isad did not have much, and Vangorich became almost a father figure to him. So whenever Isad gets activated, he becomes the Beast Cruel. Vangorich was training Beast Cruel for something a bit more covert, something that Isad didn't actually really know about himself, despite being trained for it. So, speaking of covert, we're going to begin these last few books with a covert operation being conducted at the behest of Mr. Slaughter. The kill teams have been dispatched by him to 3 locations that have been inundated by orcs: the ice world of Valhalla, the homeworld of the Fists Exemplar, which is Idolica, and the world of Palos. And they were sent out to find a rather hard-to-come-by thing that is bound to be on these worlds. All the while, he's showing the 12 video footage, and this footage came from Magnarich of the Black Templars. The footage itself shows Magnarich crushing the skull of a rather strange orc, but as the orc skull caves in and his eyes are squashed, energetic emanations spark from the skull and the eye holes. So I've got something for you here, DK.
Oh, let's go. The Ork Psykers are able to absorb that power and release it in concentrated direct form. As we observed on Ullanor, the harder we attack, the stronger the Ork psychic field becomes. But as you all have seen, he gestured to the image frozen in grayscale on the picked feed, the flow of power can be reversed, which is why we must capture one for ourselves, said Koorland. Ideally, more than one.
Definitely assumed that you were like, yeah, this is the footage of a Black Templar and just like hanging out with Iron Warriors.
Oh, don't worry. We get to that. We get to that later on.
Wait, hold on. Wait, the harder we attack, the stronger the Ork psychic field becomes. Is this just the bad writing, or is this retconned? Is this retcon? Because both seem totally possible.
It's sort of both, but I think it's been changed back again since then. So,
So they're suggesting they can reverse like the Waagh energy and make it like not work or work for them.
Wait, what? The harder we attack, as in the Imperials, the stronger the Ork psychic field becomes. Oh, wait. Oh, this is the Psykers. Wait, hold on. So these are Ork Psykers. This is not Waagh energy. This is the Psykers doing Psykery things.
Okay.
Yeah.
I misunderstood the quote. Sorry.
But flow of power. I'm caring about the wrong things. Let's just move on.
Yeah,
I mean,
let's
to be fair, I don't know that it's caring about the wrong things, because it is just straight up. We've found Ork Psykers, and the Ork psychic field gets stronger when enemies attack it, but they can like Star Trek it and reverse the polarity or whatever. And none of it really makes a huge amount of sense given what we know about orcs up until this point. But they need 3 of them. No matter what the weird logic is, they've decided they need 3 of these, at least according to the tech priest present. 3 of these Ork Psykers would suffice, and yes, they are referred to as Ork Psykers throughout, so we are going to keep that up. and Possum has literally apologized to Shy in the script. So,
Oof, Ork Psykers, huh? All right.
I mean,
Sure.
she's got everything else at this point.
Well, no, I mean,
Yeah.
orcs have psykers. That's not surprising. Orcs have plenty of psykers. It's just the way they're doing it is weird.
Yeah, it's not the sort of commonly accepted terminology, and it's
They're
not
called
how that
weird boys.
Weird boys,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
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 Or were boys if you're doing the new stuff, but it's fine. It's fine. Shy's crashing out.
Yeah,
Okay,
Shy has
let's-
crashed the hell out in chat. Let's just go ahead and
so-
move right
Yeah,
along.
let's move it on. I'm so sorry, Shy. It's going to get so much worse when it comes to crash outs. As made evident by the video and through first-hand experience, the mind of each orc operated as a psychic dynamo. Break the psyker, break the orcs in the vicinity. The tech priest verified that members of this orc subspecies, dubbed Mysticus, have been found conveniently on those 3 worlds that were mentioned a minute ago. The 12 mumbled among themselves and stated that it would take some time to vote on allotting for resources to deploy to those worlds, but Koorland cut them off because he didn't call them there to vote for that. He told them that he'd already acted on his own, he'd sent the Death Watch to handle it already, and what he needed were resources to go back to Ullanor. Because that went really well last time. Time for round 2. Let's go.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I'm kind of okay with the whole the Ork Psyker dies and the orcs in the vicinity explode also. It doesn't happen much, but the idea of an Ork Psyker just like doing some weird stuff and then exploding and killing his friends is close enough.
Yeah, that makes
That's
sense to
funny.
me.
That's
Sure.
funny to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not normal. It doesn't normally happen, but it's not out of the realm of understanding.
Yeah, I could see it happening. Shy can't.
I'm pretty
I
sure
mean,
Ork Psykers in the game have like deadly demise too. Like I know it's not like the Tyranid type thing where that's just how they are, but I can imagine a Psyker weaving some kind of psychic crap that is like, oh yeah, I make my friends better, and then he dies and he's like, oh Zog, and they all blow up. I can see that.
Ozog.
Yeah. I mean, they are doing the Tyranid thing, which is dumb, but like,
Full on copy
That
paste.
is what they do. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
The copy paste is not even surprising to me anymore, considering that they had 47 days to write this.
If that.
Funnily enough, the 12 didn't really like the fact that he didn't consult them about the whole sending the Death Watch out thing, but it was too late to do anything about it. So instead, conversation shifted to the lack of resources due to, the last full-fledged assault against Ullanor, which just went disastrously wrong. And the vast majority of the chamber was less than enthused. Save the Inquisitors, who offered some support without question by offering some black ships. However, one of the 12 wasn't there, and he is about to come in a bit of a fury. So, if you remember, early on, Ecclesiarch Measuring got poisoned by Vangorich and told to rally a movement of faith, and he had 3 days to do it in order to get the antidote. Now, he did actually do that straight away. So, what about the antidote? Well, while the other stuff was going on, he was visited by Wynand in Vangorich's stead, and she had some good news and some very bad news. The good news is that she had some of the antidote. Emphasis on some. Due to the failure of the Proletarian Crusade, the antidote was a bit watered down. It was enough to keep him alive for about 25 more days. But the prolonged exposure to the poison really did a number on Measuring's mind and body. So he got weak, he got frail, and he got absolutely unhinged. So we saw a bit of that when the Lord Commander was overthrown, and we saw it in his hatred of the concept of the Death Watch. When the attack moon was cut in half and shattered, the entire surface of the planet was pelted, including Measuring's personal palace. The debris trapped him under rubble for a few days, and when he was found, he was still screaming.
Oh. Yeah,
Hell
that's grimdark. Yep, that fits 40K to a T. Yeah, sure.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Yep.
Nightmarish, just how we like it. This screaming just continued while he marched into the Chamber of the 12, yelling for Vangorich. Vangorich responded by saying, "You look unwell. Why? You look fit to drop." What a troll.
I love Vangorich is my favorite character in the entire series so far.
He's great.
Oh,
I love him.
easily.
He demanded for the cure and demanded that Wynan tell everyone what was going on. She looked at Vangorich and shared a very obvious kind of uh-oh look, but Measuring decided to make it worse. He pointed at each of the members of the chamber, calling them heretics, mutants, poisoners, and called Cavalinera of the Sisters a witch, which just made her laugh. I mean, of all the people to accuse, literally the opposite.
Who yelled this? The person who's poisoned, right?
Yeah, Measuring. The ecclesiarch.
Honestly, that's okay. Also, I do love how he yells witch at the sister, and the sister is like unfazed.
Yeah.
Because like it's so ridiculous. It's so insane.
It's great. Literally the anti-witch of all the people.
It's like obviously the worst possible insult that it's so like horseshoe theory to the point where it's like, please. You think I haven't heard that before? Come on.
I thought somebody was gonna pull a bolt pistol on him for calling everybody a heretic and then like, daring to demean a sister.
Oh, well, that is the other
fast track to, getting yourself a little 9 caliber aspirin.
9 caliber is a bolt pistol, my friend.
I wasn't sure what caliber to go with, and my mind was like, just say 9 cal, dude. And my mouth was like, yeah, sure, it's early. There's no filter yet. And just yeah.
Well, you're gonna be happy. You're gonna be really happy. Measuring was screaming about lies, said he was going to tell all of the world of the death of Vulcan and the death of the Fists, and that the Emperor has abandoned all of us. And here's how the rest of the conversation went. So, Bricky, if you could do the honors.
Oh, yes, of course. The people will hear it all, only by throwing down the heretic and the disbeliever and welcoming the armies of the beast can they be saved? Praise the beast, he screamed, spittle spraying from his lips, eyes rolling up into his head. All praise the beast. The thunderous boom of bolter discharge startled the servo seraphs to flight. The contents of Measuring's head and shoulders sprayed over the suddenly screaming arch-confessor, holding on to the arm of a now headless torso. Wynand opened her mouth to say something. Her gaze slid from the dead ecclesiarch on the floor to the pistol in Koorland's hand, and she shut it again. Wise.
Well, I went about as well as I thought it was going to go.
I think it's kind of funny because they were just yelling a lot of things, and they were just kind of laughing at him, and then he said, praise the beast, and they're like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, this one's over.
Yeah,
this guy's done.
I'll stand for all this like poison and witch slander, but praise the beast? Absolutely not. No.
Yeah. Although it's their own damn fault. They poisoned him and addled his damn mind after he got trapped under rubble for however many days. It's their own goddamn fault.
Look, you can't be saying that Vangorich did something wrong here. He's the perfect character. Nothing he does is incorrect at all. He's super reliable in every way. Foreshadowing. Yes, and of course it wasn't. Vangorich didn't do it. Mr. Slaughter did it. Mr. Slaughter was the one who pulled the trigger. Which, I mean, again, you'd expect nothing less from a Space Marine on Terra while someone's like, praise the enemy. What?
You call him Mr. Slaughter? I just imagined a bottle of Mr. Clean, but entirely different themed.
I'm not gonna lie. Wait, Koorland is Slaughter, right?
Yes.
I genuinely forgot that. I didn't want to dead name him, Oh, considering that Vulcan.
How considerate of you, Bricky. How considerate of you.
Hey, Vulcan dead named him. All right, that was screwed up, man. What the hell? I totally forgot that was Slaughter because I only know him as Slaughter. Okay, all right, that's so funny. It would be him who pulls the trigger.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, with all the stuff that's happened because of the beast,
it's in the name, brother. It's in the name.
Short fuse at this point when it comes to this particular enemy, and I think that's understandable. So everyone's reaction to measuring getting his head and shoulders blown off, it was a kind of mix of "oh, thank God" and "what have you done?" And the sister gave a glance that said, "Oh, is this how things go on Terra now?" But fortunately, at this point, some word came in from the kill teams. Some of the Ork Psykers had been gathered, and they were going to go on to step 2, testing his big idea on the world of Incus Maximal. Before he left for the planet, he was asked what was to be done about the Ecclesiarch and the empty spot in the 12, especially in light of a crisis of faith in the Imperium. Koorland stated coldly that the Emperor never recognized his own divinity, nor encouraged it. In fact, he enforced the opposite. He stated that the Ecclesiarchy and faith in the Emperor would no longer be sanctioned in the Imperium, and the Ecclesiarch would not hold any seat.
Wait. Okay. So 1, oh no. 2, I had to roll back real quick. Wait a minute. Who is the sister again? Because I totally forgot. The Sisters of Battle have not been created yet. We're like 4,000 years too early.
Sisters of Silence.
Oh, Sisters of Silence, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why she laughed and chuckled because they are talking in this episode.
She's sort of like, I think she's done her vow again. So the 50 sisters came into Terra and retook their vows to shut the hell up. So she's like, you forgot Sisters of Silence exist, just like Games Workshop.
I did. Because calling a sister of battle a witch is also an understandable insult. But actually, now that the Silence is called a witch, that makes a lot more sense. Actually, because that's okay. That makes a lot more sense. Because you would call a sister of battle a witch if you wanted to say like the most evil thing you possibly could to her, or like call her a heretic, right? But
yeah,
okay, yeah.
Wasn't this Sister of Silence also a little chatty in the last episode for a Sister of Silence?
Yeah, that was what I was mentioning prior.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of that, but I'm looking to just kind of skip that part.
Fair.
A chunk of them like did their vow again, so I believe they're back to being quiet now. So that's maybe something. That's after they chanted "Let the Imperium fall." So I think we should just move on. So it was time. Time for an episode of Mythbusters on Incus Maximal. The goal was to gather a mass of orcs together on the planet, of which there were many, and instigate a lot of fighting. This fighting would cause a massive amount of Waagh energy being formed. Once the Waagh energy reached its climax, one of the Ork Psykers would be thrown out into the middle of it. This specific Ork Psyker would be kept in sensory deprivation, sedated for almost its entire journey, and in the direct presence of a Sister of Silence the entire time. The idea would be that the Ork Psyker would be woken up so that it was fully lucid, and then rapidly dropped in away from the presence of the Sister. This sudden jump for a very sensitive Psyker from being blocked out from Waagh energy to being overwhelmed by it would hopefully cause a Reverse-Waaagh effect and decimate the orcs in an almost vacuum pressure sense. Smooth brain edging, I guess.
What the fuck is that theory? What?
I'm alt tabbed right now. I'm gonna re-tab in and look at what Shai is saying because I think it's probably not happy. Okay,
No.
It's the image of Han Solo saying that's not how the Force works. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's. I tell you what, it's impressive in a kind of why are you making this the solution sort of way.
I was gonna say that's a very convoluted solution that yeah, that's all I got. I just disgruntled grunts and
How would you describe the War of the Beast as a series? Funnily enough, this test was wildly successful. The Ork Psyker's eyes went glassy and caused a catastrophic shockwave that killed some of the escort squad. The death of the Psyker caused a chain reaction in the Orks, described as a string of wet detonations and splashes of red as thousands of Ork heads exploded. I'm sorry, it's so cartoony. It's so Looney Tunes.
It reminds me of you ever see Kingsman?
Yes.
The end of Kingsman.
Yeah, a little
Fucking
bit.
spectacular.
Oh dear.
That's actually a pretty all right
That was.
accent there, DK.
I'm
That was
very
pretty
Thank
good.
impressed.
you.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a little
that
better
was-
than my
that
Kirioth impression.
I was going to say, after last week's impression, that has absolutely blown me away.
I've also seen Kingsman more than once, so
Good film. Totally justified. You probably wouldn't read these books more than once, though. Though a partial success, the impact wasn't perfect in Slaughter's eyes. The orcs on Incus Maximal were not the larger ones they'd encountered before. And though it was a strong amount of Waagh energy, more was needed. If the same test was won on a much larger scale, it was bound to be a success. One final test needed to be done, and Koorland said that this test had to be done on Ullanor itself. Of course it had. He presented this to his Space Marine cohorts, and this was met with concern. I can't imagine why.
gee whiz, why be concerned? Simple plan, guys. Come on, get it together.
Koorland did point out that a surprise attack was now possible. The layout of Gorkogrod was now I'd forgotten it was called Gorkogrod.
It's Gorkogrod. I forgot about Gorkogrod too. You said that again, and I had a little giggle.
And they thought, like, once the defenses were down, teleporting in would be possible. And there was no time like the present, and they did have some forces to spare, which that again confuses me, because not that long ago they were like, we don't have the resources for this, and now they're like, luckily we've got some spare resources. The yo-yoing between we're on our knees and have nothing left to throw at this problem to, but it's okay because all the Space Marines arrived, is absolutely atrocious in this series. It really is.
I gotta be honest, I feel like that's most Imperial books, though. There's a
Yeah,
lot of Imperial books where it's like, we're doomed, and then it's like, wait a minute, there's a man in cobalt blue coming his way.
Yeah, that's fair. It is. It's a very like popular trope in it for a lot of 40k books. So all is lost except for these 5,000 guys who've just shown up. Oh, okay, cool.
Out of nowhere, space sharks.
Space sharks.
So the following forces are mentioned by name as being involved, but the total forces vary substantially due to how bad the spanking was in the first battle. So we've got the Fists Exemplar, the Iron Knights, the Exoriators, the Black Templars, the Dark Angels, the Ultramarines, Blood Angels, Space Wolves, Raven Guard, Iron Snake, Stormlords, Aurora Chapter, and Brazen Claws, just to name a few. And there's also the Sisters of Silence, the Legio Cybernetica, some Knights, some Titans, some Inquisitorial Black Ships, and of course, the Death Watch, because they watch from death, as we know. However,
They do.
They do.
Too true.
One thing to note is that the Guard regiments and Naval regiments are very, very thin. Also, for the record, at home, the very scattered remnants of the Crimson Fists and the Executioners were there, so Terra was totally safe, nothing to worry about. The second invasion of Ullanor opened up with something a bit different, which was the sacrifice of ships. Ships that were too damaged were just flung directly towards the surface of Gorkogrod, including the Dark Angels cruiser Herald of Night, the Imperial Navy frigate Psykers, and the Inquisitorial escort.
I'm sorry. Whoa.
You know, Kirioth, Cyzicus doesn't mean everything.
Right,
that's Cyzicus, yeah. Or
Kaizacus?
I don't think it's Kazikis. That sounds weird.
I guess you could say Cyzicus.
That sounds
Cyzicus, maybe?
Look, I've already said it. I hate the names in this book. Like, just all of them. I mean, even by the normal standards, there's some absolute stinkers in here. I mean, we saw how bloody Martha or whatever her name was spelt last time. And it's just a mess.
Yeah.
It's just a catastrophe.
Marmalade or whatever the hell her name was.
Yeah,
Margaret
or something. Yeah. But yeah, if my ship was named Cyzicus, I'd be like, yeah, blow that bitch up. Send that thing right down.
There was also the Inquisitorial escort, the Pursue Banshee. And those ships had skeleton crews, sacrifices painfully offered but willing. And their role was fulfilled, because through the midst of the shattered ships came other attack ships that were ready and willing to bring the Emperor's wrath to the surface. But through this overwhelming onslaught, the brute shield of Gorkogrod fell, and dropships were immediately unleashed, with Maximus Thane leading forces for a frontal assault. I'm tempted to say that Maximus Thane gives at least 3 other terrible names a pass because of how good a name Maximus Thane is. I feel like that's a proper Space Marine name. That
it balances the scale for some of the other clunkers.
100%, absolutely. Yeah. So this big frontal assault was obviously a distraction. The real assault would come in the form of Koorland and his small crew. So Koorland's direct crew included himself, High Marshal Boymond, Asger Warfist, who I realized I listened back to the last episode, just because I started to feel like it was becoming a fever dream, and a couple of times I fully just called him Warfist as opposed to Warfist. I don't know how I did it, but I did do it.
Wall fist, eh?
Yeah, quite a few people were like, there's no way he's called Wall Fist. And I was like, did I call him Wall Fist? I thought I said War Fist. But I think the more I said it, the less clear it got.
Well, I mean, was this an Imperial Fists guy?
He's, now he is chapter master of the Death Watch. So,
so I mean, well, Wall Fist, I mean, the memes write themselves.
Okay, Shy. It sounds like I didn't say Wall Fist. I said
Wall Fist. This might be just an accent thing. No offense, brother.
It might be. Yeah.
Okay, right.
Although when you just said it, I could very easily hear the differences. But if you were just kind of in the zone, I could see how maybe Wall Fist would or War Fist would. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to slow it down every time I get to his name and just really overpronounce it. So those High Marshal Boymond, Asger Warfist, now chapter master of the Death Watch, and a kill team of 6 Death Watch members. The assassin Isad Waagh, otherwise known as Beast Cruel, 6 sisters led by Brisanus and accompanied by 2 Ogryn, and the Majos Idon Urkidex. Shy is just fully
Dude, I can't do this anymore, man.
Yeah. And Isad is only cruel beast when he gets activated by Vangorich, right?
It's
Otherwise,
true.
he's just a hapless. He's sad.
I'm trying to remember what the name of the sister Brisanus. Her first name is atrocious as well. Okay, there we go. I've scrolled up a bit. Cavalonera Brisanus. That's her full name.
That's fine.
I mean, the problem I have with that is that Cavalonera is too close to just Cavalonera, which is a type of cabbage, which, in terms of mental images, just doesn't work for me when it comes to what's supposed to be a badass warrior. Especially since, if you call someone a cabbage in the UK, you are calling them stupid. It is just flat out an insult.
I mean, it's pretty much the same here. If I was like, Bricky, you fucking cabbage. It's, it's pretty understood what you're going for.
Yeah, I mean, I would be a little bit uncertain why you said that, but
yeah.
I would get the goal you're aiming for, which is to call me a moron.
Yeah. Calling someone a cabbage, yeah. You understand the imagery, sure.
It's only 1 degree of separation from just Cabbage Brisanus, which is not a good name. I'm just going to throw it out there. I know that's not what the name is, but it's too close to a type of cabbage for my liking. Anyway, so there's also 2 Ogryn and Majos Idon Urkidex, and of course the Ork Psyker that would be promoted to the position of Brain Bomb. Also, Possum wants everyone to know that one of the Ogryn is named Olug, and his big line is "Kill Ork for Emperor." So that's nice.
What a good lad.
Solid. The teleporting in was met with a massive issue. They didn't end up where they were supposed to. This, combined with the shields of Gorkogrod going back up, made something very clear right away, which was that, once again, this was a trap. They didn't learn the first time that they're more intelligent than you thought they were, and they seem to be a step ahead. They didn't pick up on that, so once again, they are not having a good time. The teleportation was messed up by a scatter shield, and Koorland's team had to traverse the palace to find their way to the throne room. All the while, the forces outside were forced to go on without assistance.
Yay.
So Koorland's team, it's so bad. They would make their way through the maze-like corridors until the throne room was found. The throne room was a large circular dais that looked similar to that of the Great Chamber on Terra. In a circle, there were 6 enormous thrones facing outward. All of the seats were empty, except one. DK, there you go.
Enthroned in its titanic chair was a gigantic armored orc, nearer in size to a gargant than any common greenskin. No plate was of the same material or color as the next, but all were threaded together with an intricate web of alien designs. Its head was bare, flesh dark green, rigid like tree bark, and swirled night shade blue with tattoos. Gauntlets the size of Koorland's plastron clasped the throne's arms. Calloused lips and painted tusks parted in a grin. It had been waiting for them. Koorland felt a chill in his soul. With the clanking of armor, the beast rose from its throne. Dun dun dun.
We're finally there. Again, but again.
The beast is back, baby.
But
We
this
have reached
time,
the end.
This time, like an actual, like we were really there with the beast, though. Like this
Yeah,
time,
but
we're fighting the beast, like really fighting the beast.
But what the beast wasn't expecting was we brought our own beast. A cruel beast.
Oh, no. Oh, the thing is, it wouldn't be out of place. I mean, you're right. We're there. We are at the moment, and we're only 6 pages in, which is a third.
I don't. No, don't say that. Don't preface it with that, buddy. Just keep moving. Just keep swimming, buddy. Just keep swimming.
Into the acid pool. They were surrounded. The chamber was filled with gargants again, and among the gargants were elite orc warriors filling the chamber. As Koorland described it, these orcs were their warrior forms, their daylight wall, their Adeptus custodes. The beast.
Wait, no, stop.
I tried to move on. I tried to skip over the crash out.
Yeah, my
did
mouth
you
opened
actually-
to say something, and you moved on. I was like, okay, fine. I guess this is part of the script, right? They didn't actually write that, right?
Koorland described them as their daylight wall, their Adeptus custodes. Also, it said these orcs were their warrior forms. I mean, all orc. That's what an orc is. That's literally what it is. But yeah, there you go. So they do have their version of Adeptus custodes. Oh, like it makes sense if you take it along with everything else that's happened in this series. It still doesn't make sense, does it? There's no justifying this.
Nope, not at all. Move on.
No.
The beast said something in Orcish to the bound Psyker before making eye contact with Koorland and saying slaughter.
No.
Koorland stepped back.
No.
Please.
Nope.
We can't.
No. I can't tell if that's a joke or not. Is that a joke? Are you making a joke?
No.
Say
I'm
that
not.
again. Say that again.
Say it again, Batman.
The beast said something in Orcish to the bound Psyker before making contact with Koorland and saying slaughter.
The beast
Look.
said slaughter.
Yeah.
To slaughter.
Yeah. And then he slaughtered all over himself. I don't know what you want from me. I didn't write these books. It's not my fault.
All right, you're learning, Kyria. You're learning. Very good. And then he slaughtered all over everyone. Very good. You're getting it.
Brilliant.
Koorland then stepped forward and said to the orc, I am Slaughter. I am the Lord Commander of the Imperium of Man, and I have come to kill you. Oh, wow. The orc...
He is not like his dad. He's not like his dad. Well, actually, I don't know. Maybe that is like his dad, where he's just like, I'm here and I'm here to kill you. Maybe he is like his dad.
I'm with you, Shy. They do need to stop with the whole slaughter thing.
Yeah.
The orc laughed and held out its fist. Its fist had 2 bolted together battle cannons that were surrounded by autocannons, heavy flamers, rocket launchers, and multi-barreled orcish weapons. I like how it just gives up at the end. So
Whoa,
I'm going to exhaustively list
that's
all the
his
guns
fist?
and then go and some other stuff.
Like his fist is just decked out with all these cannons?
Yeah, it's just all guns. All guns,
I mean,
baby.
That is a pretty orky thing to do, honestly. So, like,
100%.
That's kind of sick.
I don't have a problem with that. I just
Yeah.
like how it starts out with a description of what each gun was and then just sort of devolves into and some orc stuff, I
And
guess.
some orc shit too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It unloaded a hit that was described as being like a star being born, but
Oh.
Koorland didn't get hit. It hit Bowman, who shoved Koorland out of the way. What an absolute legend.
That is
A
a
leg-
great way to describe, like, a really heavy hit, though. It was
really
like a
is.
star being born.
Yeah.
Nice.
That is pretty sick. Yeah, I'll give him that.
It's a roller coaster at this point, isn't it? It's like every now and again, it's like, oh, that's pretty cool, but then it's followed by
I am slaughter.
I'm slaughter. It's like, oh no.
I do appreciate that the beast's arm was like multiple battle cannons mixed with all kinds of other guns on it, because that's not only very orky, but also provides the size, considering the fact that like an Imperial Knight fires a singular rapid fire battle cannon out of one of its arms, and a battle cannon is the main gun that a Leman Russ tank uses.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, this really, like, you're really selling it to me now.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
okay,
got
this dude
multiple on his fist. Yeah.
this dude is big.
Yeah.
At this point, a battle commences in the throne room. The goal here was not only to rally up enough fighting, but also to survive the fighting. The issue also was that the battle was close quarters, so the sisters couldn't make their way from the Psyker. They couldn't escape. Koorland engaged directly with the beast, and it tore him apart. He was fighting a losing battle, but a reprieve was found when the beast's guns ceased to work and jammed. Again, very orky. That's fine. The sisters were finally able to escape, and the Ork Psyker detonated. Psychic feedback raced through the orc mobs, and the explosion caused irreparable damage to Koorland's armor. The beast still stood, but barely. Koorland's bolter was destroyed, but with the last of his might, he was able to take up Bowman's high martial sword and jam it into the head of the beast. Koorland succeeded where a Prime-Ork had failed.
Nice.
Well,
awesome. Lovely. Great. Amazing.
to be fair, like, he had a little help from the psychic feedback thingamabooble that they did to weaken him.
It doesn't make sense.
Right? Hey, I'm not saying it does, but, like, that's why Sergeant Slaughter here is, winning out where Prime-Ork failed, right?
Lord Regent of the Imperium, Slaughter to you, sir.
Now I know, and knowing is half the battle. Thank you.
All I can think of now is him having a massive chin. Just a massive chin.
You maggots! Yeah.
I will never read his name the same way now. I will always just be thinking of Sergeant Slaughter.
You're welcome. I'm surprised it took me this long to make a wrestling reference out of that.
I don't know why. It just hadn't occurred to me. Is he? Do you think at some point he's going to defect and pretend like he's fighting on the side of the orcs? Get a bit of heat.
Yeah, totally. He's going to team up with the Ork Iron Sheik. Yeah.
What an angle that was. Okay. It is the biggest chin that's ever been on a human being. Anyway, Koorland was held up by Bowman himself, who somehow didn't die from the birth of a new sun attack. Not sure how that happened, but okay. And for a brief moment, victory was embraced. But, of course, it's got to be a but. The opening of a great door on the other end of the throne room and the clamoring of voices proved to Koorland that he was wrong. He had not won. Koorland saw it now. He saw the 6 thrones and saw that they each had their own markers. There was never one beast, and there never had been. I mean, to be fair, I feel like if you saw 6 thrones that big and saw one giant orc in one of them, part of you might have thought before now, hey, there might be more than one of these, but that's just me. Bricky, you're up.
Yippee. There were 6 Prime-Orks, each a father to 1 legion within the whole. From his position where the defeated Ork had thrown him, some way around the circumference of the throne room from the slave's entrance by which they had entered, Koorland could see the throne that they had previously been hidden. It was larger than the others. It was covered with skins and furs and adorned with black and white checks. Ooh, goths. As Koorland beheld it, struck by the familiarity of that particular pattern of black and white, the grinding clank of moving armor reached a crescendo, and a second beast passed through the massive main doors. A second Prime-Ork. Or was it the first?
You know, when you said that the guards were like, oh yeah, they're like the Ork version of the custodians, I was like, man, this is like a regular Ork Imperium over here. And yup.
I mean, yeah, it is like I'm trying to work out how best to like formulate what I'm thinking, which is that the idea of the Imperium fighting like a dark mirror of itself. I mean, A already exists because, you know, half of them turned traitor and went over to Chaos, and there are still Prime-Orks there, and as such, that entire angle literally already existed. But if you were going to do it a second time, doing it with Orks is a weird choice at best. And part of the thing that makes it feel, I think, even more like, why have you copy-pasted the Imperium onto this faction? Part of it that makes it feel really lazy is that it makes it feel like it's just all there for the pun of Prime-Orks as opposed to Prime-Orks. And I know it's probably not that, but it feels like someone said, Prime-Ork sounds like Prime-Ork. And then someone went, I've got a great idea.
Say that again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
that's such good shit.
I don't think you're entirely wrong. Like, I don't know, sometimes you watch something or you play like a game and then you find the part where you're like, I see, this whole game was made around this section.
Mm-hmm.
And often it's fine. It's not here.
Yeah. It's not great.
It's I mean, questionable. Let's say questionable. Let's go for that. And
okay.
If you wanna be nice, yeah.
I mean, if you don't want to be nice, you could call it creatively bankrupt, but that would be harsh. So we're not going to do that.
Yeah. Well, you're the nice one here. The offense to the writers was what I said last time.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true. So Koorland was now face to face with the Ork that Vulcan had presumably killed, but obviously he wasn't dead. Bowman screamed for everyone to defend the Lord Commander, but they were swiftly overtaken. Koorland brazenly tried to take a stab at this beast's dick, legitimately, but the Ork parried his hit and grabbed the blade, knocking the rest of Koorland's armor off. The beast pinned... I mean...
Sorry, I almost thought she said his arm, and I was like, that's crazy. That would have been kind of cool, though.
Not just knocking his arm, smack the arm off. So he knocks all of Koorland's armor off and then pins him to the ground with his boot. And for fuck's sake, I forgot about this bit again. And with a voice that was like Death from Orbit, great band name, he said to the last son of Dawn, I am Slaughter.
No.
There's no way he said that.
No,
he
does not say that.
There's no way.
The Ork says this to Koorland Slaughterman.
To the character whose Xbox Live gamer type was Slaughter. Yeah.
This is nuts. This is nuts. Featuring Slaughter from the Warhammer 40,000 series. Oh my god.
Maybe they made this whole thing because they were like, guys, we can literally make rock bottom. After this, anything we put out is going to seem like a treasure trove of gold. This is strategic bankruptcy.
I don't know, man. We did have the Dorn poop vault. Yeah, this isn't a joke. I want to be clear. This is not a joke. This is not Possum messing with us.
No, Possum is like if it's a joke, Possum will say that it's a joke. It's not. It's just what happened.
This is fucking astounding.
It's wild. This whole episode has felt like it was just like one big, are you sure Possum isn't just ribbing us? Are you sure he's not just like trying really hard to turn? Are we sure this was actually in the book?
Slaughter
And Kira's
stands
like,
up. The beast who was often referred to as Slaughter is confronted by an Imperial Fist, Lord Regent Imperium, named Slaughter, stands up from his giant orc throne, the Prime-Ork, and says, Slaughter, just Slaughter. And then they fight, and then he steps on him and says, I am Slaughter. In the course of what, like 10 pages? Also, there's an assassin. There's an assassin named Beast in this room.
Technically, it's a little bit worse because actually the one that said I am Slaughter was different
Koorland.
Prime-Ork.
Oh no!
So a different.
Oh, it's a different one.
So a different.
That's right.
The first Prime-Ork said Slaughter to Koorland. Then Koorland said I am Slaughter. Then he killed the Prime-Ork. Then another Prime-Ork came in, beat the shit out of Koorland, and said to Koorland, I am Slaughter, and then killed him.
Wait,
yeah,
I missed that part.
Koorland's dead?
Oh yeah, he's dead. He's dead. Admittedly, we didn't get quite to that sentence because we got caught up on how much slaughter was happening. But
wait, so he steps on him and he kills him. He's dead.
Yeah, he says, I am Slaughter, and then just crushes him under his foot.
I am Slaughter and slaughters him, actually.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what? I'm actually more on board with this now. This is looped back around to being pretty entertaining. I'm okay with
it. It hasn't for me, man. I'm sorry.
I find it highly amusing that he squished Slaughter after saying the line.
No, I do find that amusing. That's fucking hysterical. I'm not sure if it saved me from the last like hour. No way he said that. That's so funny.
Yeah, he does. It's
wild.
So yeah, Koorland dead, slaughtered. In fact, you could say. And this is because the Prime-Ork knew exactly what it needed to do. It had to kill Hope, and the last remaining Imperial Fist was that Hope. For some reason, that for me, it feels like that at the end of Game of Thrones, when I forget which dragon it is, because who cares by the time that show finished, but when it melts the iron, the throne, like it sees Jon Snow stabbed Daenerys, and then it melts the throne and then picks the body up and flies off. Spoiler alert. Like for some reason, the best part of that whole thing was seeing a meme that someone made that was just the dragon melting the throne, but then the text being like, I see now that truly the enemy is the beckoning of power. The true foe facing humanity and causing these wars is a hunger for more. And by destroying the symbol of that hunger, I am taking vengeance against what happened. I don't know why I immediately thought of that when it was like the Prime-Ork needed to kill Hope, and the last remaining fist was that Hope. He's not just killing a man, he's killing a symbol. It's like, oh, he's just a fucking orc.
He's a goddamn orc. He's killing because he thinks it's fun. He's crumping good time.
On to play devil's advocate for a minute. This whole time they've been like, oh yeah, damn, the orcs keep outthinking us. We keep the orcs at least here have shown that they are capable of thought, and they're capable of thinking like that to that degree, right? Because they've trapped the Yomis.
That is
they've
true.
done a bit of old,
and I know the timing of the books is off, but that you know what? I'm giving DK a bit of credit. We did have like the orcs, especially back in like the big Daka. When he got big, he started thinking a lot more intelligently, and these orcs are the size of knights.
Yeah. They're literally wielding dual knight cannons on their fist.
That being said, it's still strange.
and it's
Okay.
also in a position happening at a time where the Orks are demonstrably winning every engagement with the Imperium. Like, yes, they did lose their attack moon over Terror, but when they first got attacked at Ullanor, they absolutely ruined everybody and killed Vulcan, and basically nothing changed for them. Then the Imperium came back and they were ready for them, and they are murdering the hell out of them. And then this one Ork is like, well, we are beating them to death and nothing is going well for them. But at this point, I think we can really kill hope. There wasn't any. There was none. They were just winning. They were winning all the time. It's like a weird thing of this is a way to properly stamp them out. But they're doing it at a point where they are constantly and consistently stamping them out anyway, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but this is the final death knell, right? This totally stops any more advances. All right, Kieran, let's move on. Let's stop trying to rationalize this. What the hell happens next?
Oh, yeah. So that's actually, you know what, Shy? When Vulcan died, he said, don't forget my sacrifice. Oh, okay, Mr. Immortal Man, you're really sacrificing nothing here. I mean...
Oh, yeah. I didn't know Vulcan, the respawner, the immortal, said that. That's kind of brutal. What
was your sacrifice, Vulcan? It really hurt.
Oh, I had 10 minutes on the respawn timer, guys. Don't forget.
Okay. I really hurt now, and I'm not going to come back from the dead. No, well, sucks to be you. So Koorland's body was retrieved. The remaining ground forces managed to escape. In orbit and on their way back to the throne world, the remnants of the wall held a service for Koorland and laid him in state. They did not know what to do, but their sense of duty could not keep them from doing something about it. The last war...
Koorland's body was retrieved. What, did they use a giant Space Marine-sized spatula? Like, dude was smushed, right?
No, man, no, I can't give you that. They probably, it's the AdMech and stuff. They got things. They got things.
Yeah, they've got an industrial-sized scraper to get him off the floor.
To think of all the possible ways a Space Marine has died. You know, like they would.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I mean, Koorland got off lighter than the Ultramarine chapter master who got smeared across several meters worth of concrete.
That's so true.
About that. Oh my god! The chapter master.
It's literally I am slaughter squish.
What a way to go. So they decided the last war, they're not going to repeat the mistakes of the High Lords. That would be an affront to Koorland's memory. If something was to be done, it would be to the benefit of mankind itself, because mankind deserved better. Now, to be fair, I 100% agree with that. The High Lords have been absolutely useless and just worthless so far, without being, outright threatened by Vangorich. So get rid. That's a good start, probably.
Yeah, no, I'm cool with that. They are extensively useless.
Yeah.
The ripples of the loss of Koorland and the failure on Ullanor for a second time was felt immediately. Worlds were ablaze. The Imperium looked as though it was a decimated empire. The Imperium was hollow without hope. The Orks, emboldened by the kill of Slaughter, fuck's sake, tore through the galaxy. I just can't read it anymore. I can't read the word slaughter. I'm sick of it. I'm never going to use that word again once we finish these episodes. I will actively sub out the use of that word going forward. You will never hear me say it again. They were going just tearing through the galaxy. Subsectors went dark like candles snuffed out in a cavern. Terror was free of the Ork menace, but they stood helpless watching the rest of the galaxy crumble. This was made worse by Ecclesiarch Measuring, because prior to his death, Measuring sent his words of woe to various shrine worlds and urged them all to surrender to the beast. Some worlds had already done that before the message even reached them. The people of these shrine worlds built hastily made statues to appease the Orks. And yeah, the Orks liked them. They liked seeing the statues. And then they butchered or shipped off the builders of these statues to other worlds to become human cattle.
Yeah, that sounds like the Ork thing to do.
Yeah. The battered chapters of Space Marines involved in the second strike on Ullanor were compelled to return to their respective homeworlds. The Space Wolves returned to Fenris and were met with a massive armada. The Ultramarines returned to Ultramar in the midst of a ground invasion. Things were in a state of horror. The remaining members of the Last Wall found themselves on Inwit, the world where Rogel Dawn was found. Koorland was to be laid to rest on this world, and in his honour, Maximus Thane called for a Feast of Blades. The Feast of Blades is a ritualised way for all the successor chapters of the Fists to reconvene and celebrate their brotherhood. In a standard Feast of Blades, the respective chapter masters of the successor chapters get together and have a friendly duel, and the winner is handed the Sword of Sebastus, also known as the Dawn's Blade, and they get to hold on to it until the next feast is called. That call was answered by all the remaining successor chapters, including the best boys, the Soul Drinkers. Hell yeah. Nice to see them show up before they go all renegade and shit.
Well, don't worry. They're the spider guy. It's all good.
Yeah.
They won. So the Feast of Blades went, and the last one standing was Thane, but he felt that his victory should be shared. It should be shared between all the descendants of Dawn, because despite the plate they wore, they were all Imperial Fists at heart. Thane believed that it was up to all of them to rebuild the Fists, giving a little of what was used to build their chapters to rebuild in honour of Dawn. It pained Dawn to split up his sons, and this was a chance to honour his memory. So Thane was handed the Dawn's Blade by the Exoriators chapter master and said that the best of them should serve as chapter master. And Thane approved in the Feast of Blades that he was the best of them. Thane said that they were to contact Terra to gather strength and prepare to go to war again. There you go, DK.
Oh, boy. Also, Dawn's Blade sounds familiar. Have we talked about that ever before?
That's because, for some reason, despite the fact that Commander Farsight has had the Dawn Blade for God knows how many years.
That's where it was.
Yeah. They just decided,
Different.
we're going to give the Fist the Dawn's Blade, which is not at all confusing when you already have the Dawn Blade right there, for God's sake. Anyway.
You got the Dawn's Blade.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Anyway, the quote. And you think that they will listen? Issachar said. No, Thane admitted, but that is because we do not speak their language. We need political animals, men of leverage and influence who do. If we are to open closed minds and release our full potential, then we are going to need a hammer and a pry bar. Who do you have in mind? Issachar said. The chapter master of the Imperial Fist considered. We must contact Kubik, the Fabricator General, Thane said. Thane said at last, and Grand Master Vangorich.
So, they've reformed the Imperial Fists. That chapter is back, and Maximus Thane is the leader.
So we had Last Wall Protocol. That got them back together. That didn't get the job done. Split up. We're back again. But now we have Thane as the lead with the Dawn Blade, and we're doing it and doing it again.
So it's so convoluted. But the Last Wall was basically, if the Fists get wrecked, then the successors come together to defend Terra. They did that.
Right.
But then there was only one Fist left technically, which was Slaughter/Koorland. I've just said the word again. And they also had to paint their armor yellow so that people on Terra didn't think the Fists had got wiped out, but they weren't actually the Fists. They were still their separate chapters. And then Koorland died, so technically there were no more Fists. So then they were like, well, okay, we'll just rebuild the Fists from the successor chapters, because technically I guess it's not been that long since they were all split off anyway. So now there is an entirely new Imperial Fists chapter made from all the other chapters, with Thane being the chapter master because he won the sword that Farsight doesn't have.
Yeah, right. Last Wall was just specifically to defend Terra. I thought that was like a specific, well, we have to reunite. Okay, cool. We're on the same page now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Well, as much as we possibly can be. The pages might be scattered in the wind, but at least I see the one you're pointing at.
The pages are in a lot of areas, yes. They are out and about.
the distribution is not dissimilar to if they were chucked off the top of a particularly tall skyscraper. But yeah, they're there. They exist. Sure. So Shai said, I genuinely don't understand what's this obsession with Imperial Fists, the chapter. They are all collectively sucking the ass of the Fists, wow, and saying how the Imperium will fall apart without them, how important they are. But to me, it seems like spitting on all successor chapters like Black Templars, Crimson Fists, or Fists Exemplar. Anyone else is way less important than the real Fists. I mean, I kind of agree. Like, it sucks when a chapter's wiped out, but it happens quite a lot. Like, it's hardly chapters get killed because they're in an eternal war. And the Fists dying, it would be like, okay, well, we've lost the guys who defend Terra. If only we had, I don't know, countless other chapters that we could bring back to defend the home world. It's like, in universe, it doesn't feel like it makes a huge amount of sense how vital the Fists are when there are other chapters that could do the job. From the point of view of like the successor chapters wanting their parent chapter to still be a thing, I get that. But like Terra's fascination with it is a bit weird.
It is a little bit weird. That's a good point. I really thought of it in that sense.
Well, just add it to the pile.
Yeah, it is adding it to the pile. That's true.
One more stick for the bonfire. In short time, Thane was able to get his wish. He met with Kubik, Vangorich, and Lady Brisanus, the Gabbish woman.
Gabbish woman.
Well, no, I've made myself laugh there. That's bad. So Thane explained that he believed that the previous efforts were like the thrust of a spear into the beast. Their efforts were that of the spearhead, but the follow-through wasn't there to push the blade directly into it. Their efforts, though strong, resulted in a shattered spearhead. For this to work, they needed to rebuild the spear and assure that those pushing the spear followed the strike through. Brisanus signed on that there were 2 more Ork Psykers found, and they had been restricted from their Waagh energy for so long that they had become almost feral in pain. Thane believed that they'd been thinking about this wrong. They were too tactical in the last attack. That was definitely the problem. Too tactical. Yeah. Wow. He believed that if the planet was to be put into a full-fledged frenzy, that the effect of the Reverse-Waaagh could have a planetary impact. I still can't get over the Reverse-Waaagh, but sure, especially if it was done properly within the amplified tower of the Temple Gargant. And of course, the main focus would also be on the giant monster that killed both a Prime-Ork and Koorland, otherwise known as the S-word, the Beast of Beasts. The Prime-Orks were clearly following their Ork Emperor, cut the head off of the Beast of Beasts, caused the Prime-Orks to oh my god, I nearly corrected myself to Prime-Orks from Prime-Orks. I hate it.
Which one is the one that killed Slaughter, the Beast of Beasts that they have to kill to send everybody else into a thing?
Wait, how many Prime-Orks were there again? Were there like a bunch?
Or there were like 6 thrones, so there's got to be at least
thrones.
6 of them.
They only killed the one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's one dead.
There's 5 more you got to deal with, but I guess there's like an Ork equivalent of the Emperor, and they're like, oh yeah, if we get that one, it doesn't matter what the other one. We don't have to kill the other ones. They'll just go into an Ork frenzy and just not even whatever. They'll just essentially not be
the Emperor Ork. Yeah, of course.
Oh, I hate. They probably call him that. They probably call him that, dude. They probably call him the Emperor Ork.
I actively hate that. So they do say anarchy always falls in the wake of the biggest Ork being killed, and that should work here. So Vangorich and Kubik were sold, and Vangorich asked what Thane needed. Thane said, everything we have. Literally everything. All the available Astra Militarum and Navy in the core. And with the Fist reborn, he would take the Phalanx. We got a mention.
Yay! We love the Phalanx. Phalanx is a really cool ship. So if you want to put that in and you want to make me think about that thing, I'm all on board. Let's fucking go.
It is. It had basically just been chilling out close to Venus this whole time with a Spirit Halloween sign on it. That's a reference that I don't understand, but
don't worry about it.
and they were going to take the phalanx to Ullanor itself. Yeah, where was it? Why? Shy. Look, they didn't want the orcs to be able to get to the phalanx, so they just moved it to Venus, all right? Just because it's a hugely valuable and extremely powerful vessel that could potentially turn the tide against a literal fleet, that's no reason to have it defend the homeworld, okay?
Just throw it in the pile, guys.
Add it to the list.
Also, to be fair, all of the fists were dead, so who was even on it? And what, oh no,
So
I
how'd
just
they
said that
move
out
it?
loud. Why was no one on it? Was no one on it?
Well,
Because
Maybe no one was on it.
Wait, that's a good point. That is an Imperial Fists vessel.
It's
the
literally
main
their
one.
home. It's their
Yeah. Their fleet-based chapter. Yeah.
So if all of them
And
left
all the
it,
fists died, right?
so yeah. So wait,
did they just leave a bunch of goddamn admech and like random servitors to keep the lights on?
I mean, if it was just like menial slaves and servitors and like assistants and stuff, that's a kind of insane. But also if it's like staffed with novices and stuff for the chapter, I mean, that also would mean that the Imperial Fists weren't wiped out if there were still novices all over it. Because they might not have the, all the gear and but they still count.
But like why would you take your whole chapter out of the continent-sized starship to fight the ground war?
Let's move on. So
Throw it in the pile. Throw it in the pile and move on.
This one hurts particularly badly.
I just keep rereading that one. I hate these fucking books from Shy. I just can't stop reading it over and over. Anyway, look, the phalanx, they've brushed the cobwebs off, and they're going to take it to Ullanor. Kubik feared that this would leave the core exposed, and the Grandmaster made it clear that these worlds were already exposed. After careful consideration, Kubik had an idea. After their experience on Ullanor the first time, the tech priests have figured out how to fight fire with fire. They managed to manipulate the gravitic weaponry used by the orcs to displace the asteroids and planetoids and propel them towards other bodies. The Mechanicus could essentially show up and slingshot asteroids onto the planet, cripple the defenses, and allow for an easy entry. Why they didn't do that on the second invasion, I don't know. But again, we don't have time.
Didn't you say they just figured it out, like now or something?
They said after their experience on Ullanor the first time.
Oh.
Not the second time, the first time.
We don't have time. Move on. We don't have time.
Let's just throw it in the pile and move on.
This is the York attack moon, right? We're destroying it.
Oh, this is Ullanor. They're going to Ullanor a third time. Yeah.
Okay. I guess they wouldn't exterminate us then, because they do want to take Ullanor back.
I mean, maybe
so they'll just throw asteroids at it instead.
Yeah, I mean, if they knew that from the first one, why not do it in the second invasion though? That would have assisted massively with whatever. They sacrificed ships, and instead they could have. Look, so there was a question: how would the other High Lords be convinced to share all of their resources? Vangorich, of course, being a legend, had a plan, and his plan was calling a crowd to the Plaza de Camerata at the Imperial Palace. This crowd included all the High Lords as well. Lurking in the crowds was Waagh, making sure everything went to plan. The massive crowds, accustomed to shows in this plaza, were about to witness a brand new show. The plaza opened up for Bricky think the Bubble Bowl halftime show in SpongeBob.
I know exactly what they're talking about.
Okay.
As soon as you said from SpongeBob, I was like, oh yeah, Bricky's receptors are activated.
I hope the audience has plenty of ibuprofen.
I don't get it.
No, you don't need to. Everyone else does, and that's what I care about.
Yeah, that's the important
cool.
bit.
Hell yeah, brother.
So the plaza opened up and something rose up from the depths. From the sight of it, it was a colossal platform of stone, and on it stood the armoured silhouettes of Space Marines standing still like statues. But these were not the ragtag group of random successor chapters in the last wall. Wait, I thought the last wall painted... No, again, we don't have time. We don't have time for this. I'm pretty sure in like episode 2 or whatever, was it episode 1 or 2, where it was like they were told to paint their armor yellow so no one knew the Imperial Fist got wiped out. I simply don't care at this point. All the Space Marines were what a thing to say partway through a lore podcast where we're actively talking about lore. I don't care. All the Space Marines were clad in yellow. To the thunderous cheer of the crowd, the entirety of the Imperial Fist stood proudly before them all, but to the High Lords it was a show of intimidation, because the chapter that they hid the secret of now stood before them all. Thane boomed and addressed the crowd, stating that though they had the blood of Rogel Dawn and served with the Emperor's favour, they were as connected with terror and humanity as those in the streets, that even the Imperial Fist relied upon humans and that nothing was achieved alone. He spoke about how he had talked with the High Lords just earlier today. He had to raise his voice to drown out the protests from the council members. He said it was a long meeting, but it was about unity. And though they had previously failed on Ullanor twice, Ullanor was once home to a great victory at the hands of the Emperor. The difference between then and now was that the Emperor had the complete uniting of the Imperium behind him. But now, after speaking with the High Lords, this unity had returned, and victory was assured. Humanity cheered. The heroes of terror were now working on a fully unified front, one that the High Lords were 100% behind.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like the idea of the High Lords being behind anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
Makes sense.
You'll have noted that we didn't actually cover the conversation that Thane had with the High Lords. There's a very good reason for that, and that's because there was no conversation at all. He was just out there full-on lying and manipulating the situation to get the High Lords to do what he said, which, solid move. I like it.
Honestly,
that's
I'm
how
okay
you do
with
it.
that.
Yeah,
That is
there you go.
accurate. How else are you going to get
Gen-
all the High Lords to agree?
Genuinely fantastic idea.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, the High Lords didn't like it. They were fairly pissed off. They attempted to rush to the Great Chamber to subvert what Thane was saying, but they were being stalked by Isad and swiftly overtaken by Vangorich. Vangorich cornered both the Lord Commander Militant Verald and Lord High Admiral Lansung and stated that they need to agree with what Thane said. They both told Vangorich to get out of the way, saying that intimidation was not going to work and that his assassin wasn't going to intimidate them. They told him to call off his dog or else they would have their guards put him down. Vangorich said, "I shouldn't worry about my man, I would worry about your own." Great line.
Once again, Vangorich, coolest dude in the room.
Yeah, 100%. Isad took out a few men in a short gun exchange, but when the smoke cleared, some of their respective bodyguards were still standing. And the ones that were still standing began to ripple and twist, revealing that they were Calidus assassins the whole time.
Is this the beheading?
It is not. We're not there yet.
We're not there yet. Okay.
We're not there yet. There's still more.
Okay, all right.
Verald and Lansung said they would not be intimidated. Vangorich said that he didn't need to threaten, all he needed to do was kill them. The assassins that stood there began to take the shape of the respective lords, and they were left without options. They asked Vangorich what they were supposed to do. This is a great quote. Bricky, you're up, right?
I believe so. That is really down to you, my lords, Vangorich said. It is your fingers on my triggers. I take solace in the fact that your deaths won't be my responsibility, though you should know that they would weigh very little on my conscience. What do you want? Lansung asked. I want you to live up to the Emperor's expectations. You will mobilize every available warship and transport, every battle company and battalion to accompany the Imperial Fists to Ullanor. If you hold back so much as a stretcher bearer or fleet tender, I will issue the order for your assassination. My operatives are everyone and everywhere. Each is ready to take your worthless lives and replace you at a moment's notice. So tell me, my lords, do we have an accord?
Nice.
I fucking love this dude. He is such.
Vangorich is so good.
He's so good. Goodness gracious. I am very disappointed that he is in this series of books.
He's
keeping it all together. He's the sunshine on a rainy day.
Yeah. He is the thin strip of gold encased in the bar of shit. He's gleaming, he's in there, and when he gets a moment, he shines. What a hero. So,
Yeah.
with a simple we do, the final assault on Ullanor was to begin. Now, here's a little brain teaser. We mentioned earlier that Thane would be leading the Space Marines with the Phalanx itself for the ground attack, but what about the massive bulk of the Imperial forces? Landing with ships was proven to be too dangerous, and teleporting was very dangerous. So, what do you think they did?
Okay, so landing with ships is too dangerous. Teleporting is too dangerous as well.
I don't know.
Did they just throw themselves with like a drop pod?
You're not a million miles off.
Okay.
Intergalactic paratroopers.
I mean, the drop pod theory, it is pretty good. All you need to do is scale it up so that it becomes not like drop pods, but instead a controlled landing of a hollow planetoid with all the people stuffed inside.
So they put themselves in a rock and
essentially they did a well, the Orks do this, so we shall also do it. They took a planetoid in the Golgashir asteroid field, and the planetoid was called 44 Thusa, and it was going to hit Gorkogrod along with the other slingshotted meteors to hopefully cause mass devastation, but also to unleash a human tide on the planet like ants, instigating a massive conflict that would hopefully build the Waagh energy to a massive fever pitch so that the Reverse-Waaagh detonations could cause mass casualties. I struggled to breathe.
I'm ignoring.
There.
I'm ignoring the Reverse-Waaagh. I'm ignoring it. I'm just done with it. I'm over it.
Fair and valid.
Just
fair
whatever.
and valid.
Honestly, them launching themselves in a gigantic, a small planet and crash landing on that is the least weird thing so far.
Compared to everything else, it's
yeah.
Reverse-Waaagh is reverse quality writing. Oh dear, Shy. I'm starting to feel really bad for like if you want to mute, that's fine. But we wouldn't hold it against you. This feels like an attack on you as a person at this point.
It's bizarre because for a series about orcs kicking the shit out of everyone else, it's surprisingly poorly done for orcs.
It really is. Effectively, what it feels like they did, I couldn't even say effectively there. I'm starting to lose the ability to think, remembering all of this stuff. What they basically did was they went, this is a series where orcs are so powerful that they wipe out everyone else. And then you go, okay, how did they become so powerful? Well, they became so powerful by essentially becoming something that isn't orcs. Like,
yeah, because they're just like a pseudo Imperium now, and
they made the orcs win by turning them into like the Green Imperium. They made them far more intelligent. They made them far more tactical. They gave them way more numbers somehow, even though orcs already, there's billions of them.
They're fine.
And then they were just,
yeah.
And then they were just like, oh, well, that's how they're winning. See, they just became better than what they should be. And it's like, well, that's not good for the orcs. That just means that you've made them into something different. And that's the only way that they were winning. That's not a positive. That just makes normal orcs look a bit shit. And they didn't have to do that, you know? They should have been able to make a convincing orc invasion without basically changing a bunch of fundamental stuff about how orcs work, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then adding Prime-Orks at the end definitely kind of seals that a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's kind of lame in a very severe way. So the phalanx would be brought in separately, and other dropships too. Not everyone is on the rock. It wouldn't be bolt-upon if there wasn't a bunch of random dropships. While Thane would lead the massive forces hidden on 44 Thusa. The fleet of rocks began to propel themselves through the Ullanor system with the navy and the phalanx behind them. The various asteroids made contact with scattered attack moons in the system, causing huge amounts of destruction and even more debris to head toward Ullanor. Thane watched on vid screens as the first asteroids hit the planet, causing waves of corpses to launch into the air. Burn, Thane hissed through his helmet grill. Fleets annihilated, Imperial worlds torn apart, populations enslaved. He felt all such atrocities in his chest and yearned for vengeance. Burn, you monsters.
Damn, that goes hard, though. Like, okay.
Oh,
not bad.
So he knew there'd be losses, but there was no other pass. It was this or nothing. 44 Thusa made direct contact with Gorkogrod and left seismic destruction in its wake. The Imperial forces poured out from the planetoid toward the Gargant Palace, and masses of orcs began to rush at all angles. Trillions of them, a larger number than they had ever faced before. They needed to clear the way to the Gargant Palace, which was being attacked by the phalanx from orbit to lower the defences, and the first of the Ork Psykers were detonated, clearing a massive swathe of the front lines and stunning the lines further back. Those lines that were stunned were taken out by Imperial Fists, and the rush continued to the Temple Gargant. Also, if anyone was curious, the gravimetric stuff that held the forces in place with the controlled landing gave way during this rush, and 44 Thusa fell apart, crushing everything in its immediate radius.
Yay. This is such an exhausting series.
I'm having a little fatigue. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
We're getting close to the end. We're getting there. I'm racing through.
So I feel like an old woman in her seat, being like, "Get back to Vangorich. She's the coolest part."
Yeah.
Where's my baby boy?
Where's my man? Where's my sussy baka assassinorum man? Okay,
So,
all right.
Okay, the war on the ground wasn't the only war happening in space. Orcs were engaging the navy, they'd boarded the phalanx, time was running out. The beast had to die. The forces made their way to the throne room again, and Thane called out for the beast. The sons of Dawn have come for you. I have come for you. It's time to face your doom. Fight me, monster. Fight for Ullanor, for Terra, for the galaxy. Makes it sound like he's just placing a bet. The massive beast entered the room, the killer of Vulcan, the killer of Koorland. I'm sorry, that second one isn't that impressive. If you've already killed a Prime-Ork.
Yeah.
This, it's just not.
You got to lose Koorland first, and then Vulcan. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
The beast of beasts. The beast tore through the ranks, but made a direct path to Thane. Shrugged off hit after hit, and the battle continued. Thane drew the sword of Sebastus and slashed out one of the blood-red eyes of the creature, causing it to howl and breaking its concentration, making it stumble. As this happened, Thane made eye contact with Lady Brisannas, who gave him a nod. She couldn't escape to finish the ritual in the normal sense. There was too much fighting, it was impossible to move, she couldn't get away from the Ork Psyker, so she took her blade out, closed her eyes, and thrust it into her stomach.
Wait,
What?
into her stomach or the Psyker's stomach, right?
Yeah.
So she would get blown away with the Psyker, right?
The Sister of Silence, because her null field was keeping the Ork Psyker from experiencing the Waagh energy, just ended herself.
Oh my god.
Got
so she
you.
kills
Okay.
herself in order to make the
Cancel her
currently
field.
Tyrannid Ork explodey head guy not be cancelled anymore.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
Now, I have to say, the whole thing with the Reverse-Waaagh energy, I mean, it is garbage. It's hot
100%.
garbage. But that's kind of badass.
That's
like
okay.
That is
the self-sacrifice of just there's only one way that we can do this, and I can't get far enough away. Okay, that's it. I'll take myself out. That's actually pretty cool.
That's a blaze of glory if I've ever seen one.
Yeah. I have to also admit that it's also been like consistently set up as a thing to utilize this against the orcs, even though it's stupid. Like this is set up and payoff. So I do have to give this a thumbs up a little bit on this one.
Yeah. I mean, I feel bad for calling her Cabbage Lady now because actually she's pretty cool. But
yeah, no, I mean it's still.
No, Shy, no, Shy.
That came later. So this is after. I'm pretty positive the Sisters of Silence being able to consciously suppress their null fields is a lore thing that came after these books. I'm pretty sure it came after these books.
Please.
Let's just go ahead and say yeah, for sure. That's how it is. You're right, Bricky. That hadn't been invented yet. They weren't that adept yet, so it's fine. Don't ruin the blaze of glory. Let's just.
I was gonna say I'm choosing to. Like, even if it's wrong, I don't care. I'm choosing to believe
the Sister of Silence goes out in a blaze of glory. She valiantly takes her own life in sacrifice for king and country, and I'm assuming the Ork Psyker, boom. And then what happens next, Kirioth?
Well, funnily enough, you need to read this.
Oh, well. The beast of Ullanor felt the effects of the psychic backwash immediately. Forgetting about the agony of its eye, the warlord grabbed at its head and fell back into the ruin of a throne. It bellowed, it raged. Blood gushed from its nostrils and ears. Then, incredibly, it died. Okay. With a fountain of gore and colossal shards of skull, the beast's head exploded. Its arms fell down at the sides of the throne with a thud before the hulking body of the monstrous warlord fell still. All right.
We did it.
Spectacular. Crazy.
I mean, it's it's fine. He's dead.
I mean, that was the whole point of the plan, right? It's the thing that makes the orc's head explode. So, yeah, sure. That works. I don't know why that just felt so anticlimactic, though, for the Beast of Ullanor. I mean, that was the whole plan. That was the whole thing, was to do that and make his head blow up. But it just...
Yeah. Shy, I hate to... Listen, I agree with you. It's stupid as fuck. But even though it's stupid, this was set up this way in the book. And so they have at least, I don't think they've actually.
They had set up precedents for it to work like
this. They did.
In universe, so.
They did. It's still dumb, but they set the precedent.
Yeah.
They've nailed the landing. Like, they set up the trick. They set everything up. I mean, they telegraphed it. With all the subtlety of a sledgehammer, but they did telegraph it, and then they stuck the landing when it happened, and that's something. Like, that's it's the trick might have been shit, but they didn't fall off the BMX when they hit the floor. It still happened. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I mean, I do agree with Shy. They came with an insane orc threat, but the Imperium in a bad position where they can't win by conventional means, and then wrote themselves into a corner, and then found the cop-out to insta-kill orcs, like dropping the one ring in the Mount of Doom, where all the bad guys instantly die, except Tolkien had faith in the Lord. Except Tolkien had faith in the lore with lots of setup background lore and 12 years to write 3 books, while these guys had 11 months to write 12 books. A bunch of crack and a whole hellload of slaughter written on the walls of their padded cells.
Yeah.
Which is fair. I mean, I do, like I mentioned in the beginning of this whole thing, you had 3 chances to make it better and 3 chances to make it worse.
Yeah.
12 books in a year is not how that rolls.
Yeah.
I will say as well, this, like, with when these books were released and then the addition of, like, Sisters of Silence can suppress null fields, that is actually, maybe, if anything, somewhat an argument against the idea of retcons, because what is, honestly, quite a cool sacrifice in this book series becomes stupid in retrospect. Like, it just becomes a thing of, if you were a fan of Sisters of Silence and then, like, in the year of our Lord 2026, you go, I'm going to read the Beast Arises series for some reason. You would then read that and go, what a dumb bitch. What?
I mean,
I guess, yeah.
Well,
Why
see,
would you do that?
I would agree with you, but I don't, at least on the retcon thing, because it's Schrodinger's retcon. Retcons are bad when they do a retcon and it's bad, and then retcons are good when they do a retcon and it's good. Terminus Decree is bad,
Yeah.
Necrons is good, Voton is good, and this is, in this situation, not as good. Like, it's Schrodinger's
I'll give you that.
retcon. Like, it's they're only good when it's good and bad when it's bad. So it's whatever. But God, I
Basically.
really do hope that lore tidbit was added after, because if it wasn't, we are in deep shit.
I mean, to be fair, if it wasn't, we're not the ones who should be in deep shit. We're the ones who may have got that bit wrong. But if it wasn't added after, and when these books were written, they could suppress their null fields, that means that someone really fucked it when it came to writing that plot point, because it does end up being, why did she even do it? Like, that's not our fault. That's whoever wrote this. Like, that's like, I forget which book this specific bit is from, and therefore the author, because frankly, it all blends together. But like, that isn't us. We didn't write that. And if someone who wrote it already had established things where it's like, well, they could suppress the null field, why even make it so she has to off herself anyway? That would just be dumb on their part, not on our part. Essentially, I'm not like taking responsibility for that, and tough shit. Basically. So
Okay. So the Beast of Ullanor had exploded.
The Beast of Ullanor, dead.
Yeah.
Fully dead, and so is everything else in the vicinity. The pilots of the Gargants, they're also dead, and essentially everything was ruined for the Orks in that moment. The Imperium was saved, a new day was going to dawn on humanity. But above the palace of the Imperium, the thunder was rolling in. And Bricky, you will be so happy to know that the subheading for this bit is the beheading.
Thank God. We're finally back to the best part, and honestly, the thing that should have happened way earlier.
We should have just cut all the stuff for the Orks and only done the Vangorich bits.
Yes. Unironically, yes.
So Thane and the Fists would return to Terra as heroes, and his heroic status would result in Thane receiving a title he was not comfortable with, Lord Commander. But his work was not done in his eyes. Though the Beast of Beasts was killed, the Orks were still a threat that needed to be exterminated. He also needed to find the rest of his Exemplar boys, particularly Zurbarin. Now, can you remember who Zurbarin is and where he might be?
No.
The
name does not ring a single bell.
I completely forgot who that guy was.
Yeah, I have no idea. I got nothing. I was like, who? We've talked about him?
Zurbarin is one of the Fists Exemplar, and his ship got knocked out of warp travel or whatever, and he got contacted by an Iron Warrior saying that a favor owed was a favor given or something like that. He's the one who's been joying off with the Iron Warriors during this whole thing.
Is he the Dreadnought?
No, that was a Black Templar's High Marshal.
That was my Templar Dreadnought. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
He's the other. He's the other Fist descendant who was friends with the Iron Warrior. Yeah. He was the second one of the two who decided to be friends with the traitors and mortal enemies of his parent chapter.
We've been doing so many of those, and there's been so many crazy things. I literally forgot about the loyalists hanging out with the traitors part.
I didn't forget that.
Oh my God.
This series is a fever dream. It's an absolute
it really is.
It's insane.
Wow. All right. So what was his name? Zurbarin?
Yes, so Thane needed to find Zerberin. So he had to leave to take care of this, and he was taking the phalanx with him. In order to assure that things were handled properly on Terra in his absence, he called a meeting with one Draken Vangorich. He named Draken the Lord Protector of the Imperium and requested he pay a close eye on the High Lords, particularly Kubik, which he absolutely did. Though the actions of Mars taking and working on Ork tech had helped save the Imperium, this was not to last. Vangorich agreed and assured that he would only act with the best interests of the Imperium in mind. He mentioned that Kubik was in the process of bringing all the Ork tech from Mars to Ullanor in the hopes to destroy it all at once, and he would make sure this would happen. Well, I mean, the incredibly trustworthy Adeptus Mechanicus there. Yeah, we're just going to take all of the tech and put it on one planet so we can destroy the planet. No, you don't need to worry about any of that. We'll take care of that. Thane leaves. Vangorich began his new duty. So off on Ullanor, the Fabricator General had placed all the tech onto the planet, and the planet was moved into position to be thrown into a nearby blue supergiant hyperstar. The Imperial fleet was nearby, but told to keep a distance, and with a yell of "Let the Imperial fleet see us bring Armageddon down on Ullanor," Kubik ordered its destruction, and with a terrible flash, the planet ceased to be. Mission successful.
What?
Now,
Wait,
what? Stop it, Kirioth. I know what you're doing. I heard you moving on too fast, knowing that we're going to stop you.
What? If you're just going to destroy Ullanor, why did you go to all that trouble to do the stuff? Why didn't you just exterminatus it in the first place?
Now, no, actually, no. Tell me, Kirioth. Tell me.
Here's the thing, because I think this has come up before. Maybe, potentially. So I was going to move us on super quick because I thought maybe there might be objections to this because, like, why even bother when you can just exterminate it? It's not like that is a new technology. They've had that for God knows how long. They fucking love them and exterminatus, so what's the problem?
I thought the whole point was to save Ullanor and get it back. And keep it.
I'm going to just throw something out here. Can you think of another planet that has a heavy Ork presence?
Armageddon?
Yep.
Right?
Do you know where Armageddon came from?
I should, but I don't remember.
Well, I'm going to tell you, because the Flash wasn't Ullanor being thrown into a star. It was a trick by the Adeptus Mechanicus, because the Fabricator General had perfected the teleportation technology, and with the prospect of incredible research that would benefit the Mechanicum, the planet of Ullanor was moved someplace else for continued study. Armageddon would come for this planet, but not in the hellfire and brimstone manner. No, Armageddon would come for this planet in the form of its name. After thousands of years of research and stripping, the planet would become settled and would then become known as Armageddon. That's right, this was secretly another series about a war on Armageddon after all.
Fucking AdMech, man.
They teleported the planet?
Yep, they'd been working on it the whole time. They successfully teleported part of the attack moon. Admittedly, the rest of it fell on Terra, but these trials take time. They'd also teleported Phobos from one side of its orbit to another. And then their last use of the technology was to teleport Ullanor away and continue stripping it and mining it for technology and resources. And Ullanor became Armageddon. It's a bit wild, but it's again one of those things where it's like they did hint at something like this.
They did set up a bit of a precedence for it with the teleporty planet thing. They did.
But the whole planet?
So what happens now that we have Armageddon, Kirioth? What's next?
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I don't like it. Because it also it made a reason where they had to be like, "Oh, well, we have to find a reason to not exterminatus the planet."
Yeah.
But I don't
It's
like it, but I
I quite like it in a way, I quite like it, but I quite like it because it means that that planet has, like, a weird what's the word? Like, a weird inheritance almost? Where it's like, no
Yeah.
wonder the orcs are so attracted to Armageddon. This
Yeah.
is a planet where, 2 huge orc forces rose up and then were defeated, and then it's like, "Oh, no wonder orcs love Armageddon. This is like an ancestral home. This is
Yeah.
where war always lives. Always. The biggest, strongest, most powerful, warlike orcs always show up on Ullanor, except now Ullanor is actually Armageddon." I quite like it for that, but it is also one of those things where it's like, "Oh, yeah, so they moved it, and then they just never used the tech again." That's not very AdMech. Come on.
Yeah.
Surely.
It is nice that that's the reason why it's, like, almost like the pseudo-orc homeworld. That's pretty cool, but,
Yeah.
oh boy. But hey,
Yeah.
hey, that's a positive note. Let's keep moving. On a positive note, what happens next, Kirioth?
We've got a rare win here. So Vangorich intercepted information confirming the movement of the planet, and he was not happy. The will of those in power on Terra was selfish and dangerous, even in lieu of the greatest catastrophe humanity had faced since the heresy. It needed to happen. A decision was made, but some aspects of this decision had already occurred. Now, we mentioned Wynand a bit earlier being in the Chamber of the 12, but there was no mention of the other heavy-hitting Inquisitor, Veritas. That is because he was very ill. Very, very ill. And he called for a meeting with Wynand. He said they needed to trust one another, and that he needed to tell her some truths. He told her that there was a force of Space Marines on Titan stronger than even the Adeptus Custodes. Bold claim, but okay. A force
really
that
now.
was... Yep.
Yeah, this is the Harlequin one, whatever, I guess.
A force that was the final gift of the Emperor, the Grey Knights. He added that the forces of the Inquisition needed to diffuse. It needed to be split in two. He proposed to Wynand that the Inquisitors that were to seek out Xenos should be called the Ordo Xenos, and those who were to face off against Terrors of the Warp should be the Ordo Malleus. He proposed the Grey Knights work with the Ordo Malleus and the Death Watch work with the Ordo Xenos. As he said these words, it was as if he was aging rapidly. He had one last thing to say, but began to fade out of consciousness. Wynand knew that he had been poisoned and she needed the cure. She called the one man that she knew would have that on hand. I guess Terminus decree debate is over. Grey Knights are better than Custodes. It's been
apparently it's been said
Apparently.
in the War of the Beasts, therefore it is now fact.
It must be true.
The hardest of canon.
Oh.
Vangorich answered, and when told of Veritas, he stressed that he did not want to be Lord Protector, he wanted it to be Veritas, but he needed control. He was going to give Veritas the antidote in small doses if he had taken the role, but the tables had turned. Now, Vangorich was out in the open, and the usefulness of Veritas was complete. Vangorich said he needed to do what he needed to do, and Wynand snapped back, saying he wasn't the Sigillite, nor was he the Emperor. Now, as a note, remember during the second episode, you won't remember this. During the second episode, no, as I started reading it, I was like, when I went through the script earlier today, I read that line and went, I don't remember it. There's no way anyone else does. So you did say, Bricky, I know what's going to happen.
I know what's going to happen in the sense that, like, I know the outcome. I
Yes.
never said at once that I know what's, like, going to happen.
Well, this is in fact what you thought was going to happen. So I have another quote here. All right. Wait, that's you, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's me. A shame aside of Vangorich's projection. I thought you would probably react like that, but I was holding out hope you would not. We really should work together. Now it seems I've some work to win you over. No matter, you'll see the light. Wynand held up her Vox button to her mouth. It's too late, Wynand. You can't save them, said Vangorich. The order is given. The High Lords die today.
Oh, what a chat. Let's go, Vangorich.
Legend.
Let's fucking
Absolute
go.
legend.
Oh, man. Hell yeah, brother. Let's go.
Again, best character. Just best
Oh, yeah.
character in the series.
Gonna kill
It's
the
so
High Lords
good.
of Terra? Let's go, my man.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. That's excellent.
I love, this is the one
go.
part of the books where we like uniformly were like, hell yeah.
Hell yeah,
Let's
brother.
go.
Hell yeah, brother. Let's go, Vangorich.
So, in an event known as the Beheading, Draken Vangorich would eliminate every single High Lord of Terror over the course of one day.
Let's go. I was kind of hoping
Hell
it was gonna
yes.
be a literal like Marie Antoinette, like put him in the guillotine and just oh,
Yeah,
man.
how did he take them out actually?
It's called the behead. Well, I guess it's the beheading of the High Lords of Terra from the Imperium, right? It's not a literal beheading.
Well, we're going to go through a few here. So we'll get back to Veritas, but here is a rundown on how every other death went down. So a Colexus assassin would take out both the master of the Adeptus Astra Telepathica and the master of the Astronomicon. The Paternoval envoy would be killed by his cousin, Dovrian Afar. Oh my, what? Is that right? Dovrian? Fuck these names. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Dovrian Ofar.
Dovrian Ofar.
Sure.
That's what I would have gone
That
with.
sounds
Yeah.
Dovrian Ofar.
Sure.
Pretty good.
That's the thing with these 40K names. You just got to commit to it. Like,
You
it
just gotta
doesn't
take
matter
a
if you're
stab,
right or wrong.
right?
Just commit. Just say it. Say it with your chest and say it with pride, and everybody will assume you're right because nobody else knows what the fuck that says either.
So this killing was sanctioned by the Paternova due to the organization finding the current envoy being ineffective, and with some gentle persuasion from Vangorich. Still distraught over the failure of the Proletarian Crusade, speaker for the Chartist captains Janiska Tull would be encouraged to end her own life by her aide, who was a disguised agent of Vangorich. That's fucking grim. The Lord Commander of the Imperial Guard and the Lord High Admiral would be killed by each other's weapons. The person responsible for killing them both would be the Master of the Administratum, Tobris Eckarth, but it wasn't actually him. It was an assassin posing as him, and that assassin continued to pose as him, and the real Tobris Eckarth was never seen again. So, probably shot in the head. The Fabricator General would be confronted by Vangorich himself and an Eversaw assassin and was given two choices: die by his hand and have all the data he had be wiped by virus, or shut himself down, give his intelligence core to Vangorich, and Kubik's desire to preserve his intelligence and knowledge overwhelmed his decision, and he voluntarily shut himself down and wiped his own consciousness out. His intelligence core was placed into Idon Urkidex, who took over and acted as Kubik in his stead.
Damn.
This is great. This is actually good. I'm loving this.
This is the best part of the whole damn thing.
And all it took was to get to book 12. The final one was the highly augmented war machine that was the Grand Provost Marshal of the Arbites. Arbites? Whatever. And this was to be handled by Esad Wire, his former compatriot. He felt no pleasure in doing this and questioned his actions here, but regardless, he took his head and made his way back to Vangorich, believing that this was a separate operation entirely, not knowing the full extent of what Vangorich had done. So Wynand would eventually find a way to get some medicine to keep Veritas lucid for a bit longer, long enough for him to reveal a secret to her. He looked old because he was old.
What line is that? It's different when they say Deltrian smiled because Deltrian always smiled because it's goofy because he's a skeleton. But he looked old because he was old.
Look, to be fair, it was like they set it up where it's like, oh yeah, it's whatever poison he had, right? That was suddenly made him appear to be old. But in reality, I'm assuming he was old the whole time and he was doing some mysticism to make himself look young, right?
Yeah, it's
okay. Yeah, I guess.
He wasn't just old. He was very, very old. Old enough to remember Horus himself.
Wow.
Because Veritas was actually Kirill Sinderman.
What?
Wait, what? So what?
He's what? He's who?
Cinderman?
Cinderman?
From fucking the
The
fucking
Horus
Lunar
Heresy?
Wolves and the
oh god, that was
the Garvey's advisor, right?
Yeah.
The dude who's like, well, we have to save them from themselves and destroy their culture or whatever the fuck. Him?
He's what?
Explain yourself right now, Kirion.
The hell?
I had to mute myself because that made me laugh so much I started choking on nothing. Yeah, no, that's the guy. Yep, you've nailed it. That's the lad.
This is not. You're not explaining it.
What? Explain. Don't just say yes. You're right. What do you mean? Yes, we're right.
You know what? I'm gonna read what Shai posted. Surviving the heresy, Cinderman went on to become one of the founders of the Inquisition. He took on a new identity, Lastan Nimagwin Veritas. For the next 1,500 years, Cinderman was kept alive by arcane technologies and an ornate suit of power armor. You know what? This is I'm having an aneurysm. That being said, this is less than shocking because doesn't Garviel Loken go on to help found the Grey Knights?
Oh,
and if Cinderman is part of the Inquisition,
part of.
That's
he
sorry. Went on to be one of the founders. I'm sorry. Yes. I was technically correct.
It's the best kind of correct.
Initial shock aside, when you put it like that,
Have we had any mention of Cinderman in the last 1,500 years though?
To be fair, I believe he shows up in some of the later Horus Heresy stuff, but in terms of 40k fiction, not really.
Okay, because wild. He's at the end and the death, but this was made after. These books were made before the end and the death. So that's that's different, but also, wow.
That is a man who has staying power, it turns out.
Yeah, so he's just been chilling for 1,500 years through just some kind of magic and power armor. Which
magic?
Come on, I guess
arcane technology.
It says it's the same goddamn thing.
It's it's not the most unheard of thing in 40k, to be fair. So it's just Cinderman. What are you doing here, buddy?
It's. I mean, to be fair, it is wild. I feel free to take the piss if you like, but I actually quite like it. I quite like that as just a thing.
I don't
of,
hate it.
Here's a guy who
I think it's just the initial shock is kind of of seeing him, specifically him, after reading about him in the Horus Heresy stuff, and then seeing him now. It's just, I think it was an initial not that it was a bad choice or that it's bad to see him. It's just not who I expected you to be.
It is that. It's just that
and also,
what the hell is this guy doing here?
A little bit of that.
Yeah.
I also imagine if I had, because we've read certain piecemeal Horus Heresy books, and not all of them. I imagine if we read the entire series, that might make it we all be okay, gotcha. But, we clearly did not. So
we only read the first 3 books for.
I don't remember him.
Right?
Yeah, I don't remember him in Fulgrim. I don't remember him in First Heretic. I don't remember him in Betrayer. So
yeah.
It's one of those things where it's kind of cool because you see him doing the whole preaching the Imperial truth and being so good at preaching it that planets would start to shift away from their own beliefs towards the Imperium. But then you also get to see him experience chaos firsthand. So he kind of goes from this whole, it's all science. There's no religion. There's no spiritual bullshit. We're all about science and technology and et cetera, et cetera. And then he actually deals with a chaos incursion in a library and has that moment of, oh, everything I know is a lie. Wow, what the fuck is happening? So him then going on to become a founding member of the Inquisition and having an anti-chaos slant, it's very cool, like, character development. It's just the fact that
it makes
it's like,
sense.
yeah, it's just that it's like 1,500 years later,
Yeah.
he's still there. Just like, holy shit, what?
When the initial shock wears off and you're like, "Oh, actually, this works. This is kinda cool. I'm on board now," but initially it was very very shocking. Good to
This
see
is
you,
the thing.
Cinderman, but what where have you been?
I couldn't remember how many of the Horus Heresy books you guys had read, so when I got to this bit, I was like, this is either going to be a, yeah, that makes sense, or it's gonna be a, I'm sorry, what? And I'm really happy it was the second one. I'm really glad it was the second one.
Yeah,
Also,
I did not do well, I was not prepped for that, but
No.
we should probably move on because Shy, the last message was several minutes ago and it read simply, I don't care.
All right, moving
yeah, but you know
right
what?
along.
I had my first feeling of genuine, like, wow.
Yeah.
Like real intrigue in this
Yeah.
series. So, you know, whatever.
It only took 12 and a half books for Bricky to feel something positive.
It only took 8 hours of Adric.
That's not true. I like Vangorich.
You're right. You're
Yeah, no, sorry, that's fair. Oh, wow.
Deep breaths, Kirion. Deep
Oh my
breaths, buddy. We're gonna be okay.
Okay, so it was actually Kirill Cinderman, one of the founders of the Inquisition. His fear of chaos and his knowledge of the Grey Knights was built in his own history almost 2,000 years prior, and he had one final request for Wynand: work with Vangorich. The Imperium must not fall to a civil war. Speaking of civil war, it's time to finally cut back to the Iron Warriors and the Fists Exemplar. God, that feels like so long
What a
ago.
cut. What a jump.
I know. Technically, if you're listening to these in sequence, and apparently multiple people have listened to the 3 episodes we've already done, like on repeat for like a week straight. I've seen multiple people say they've done that. This with like a week's gap, maybe a week, 2 weeks. I don't know. It's all become a blur. This feels like such a harsh jump. So our boys, Zerberin and Calcasaur, that was the Iron Warriors Warsmith that the Dreadnought from the Black Templars decided to be friends with. They'd been working together for quite some time at this point, and their actions had not been ignored. Eventually, Zerberin's battle barge, the Dandelion, which was now basically the home of his men, and Calcasaur's group of Iron Warriors, because sure, why not? They would come into contact with the Black Templars, specifically Bowman. Bowman informed Zerberin that as the remaining Fists Exemplar were merged into the Fists, that his crew were the last true Imperial Fists, but the Iron Warriors on the ship were a problem. Bowman said that they needed to kill the Iron Warriors first, which historically is a legitimate statement, and then they could be welcomed back into the fold. But Zerberin said he couldn't do it. The Iron Warriors had fought by their side. Without them, they would have died. He requested that they give them passage. Bowman essentially said, "What the fuck are you talking about?" before charging up the weapons on his ship. Again, somewhat understandable, I think it's fair to say.
The what the fuck are you talking about is completely and wholly understandable, yes.
These guys are cool. Oh, God.
Jesse, what the fuck are you talking about?
I love that I love that Iron Warrior photo with a burning passion.
Oh hell
great.
yeah,
It's
dude.
so
It is
good.
the Iron Warriors art, yeah.
So Calcasaur said that even if the Iron Warriors were killed, Zerberin would also be killed as well. At this point, a final decision was made. The decision was a full-fledged attack on the Black Templars by the Iron Warriors and Zerberin with some of his Fists Exemplar. The Iron Warriors, descendant chapter.
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah.
They were overwhelmed and Bowman was killed. After the destruction of the Templars, Zerberin took a knee saying to Kalkator, iron within, iron without.
Oh.
Oh,
Well.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
So Thane learned of this treachery, and he said that the Fists Exemplar are to be non-existent, no history of them, nothing. For the rest of his life, he would never mention the Fists Exemplar again.
I mean, that's fair. Like, all things considered, yeah, that's yeah. Yep.
I
Makes
I
sense.
can't
not
argue
shocked.
with him.
Yeah.
So, at this point, treachery is on the table, as the full effect of the beheading was realised by Waagh. Vangorich chaired the Senatorium officially as the Lord Protector and flamboyantly showcased all the new Great High Lords to all the ones that remained. According to him, some were replacements handpicked by the previous High Lords, some only acted in their stead while they did other things. Either way, it was perfectly normal and reasonable. He also had some changes. The Custodes would have a seat at the table now, and the Captain General became a High Lord. Not a bad call, to be fair. The Ecclesiarchy also got their seat back. Arguably less of a good call, but whatever. He also removed the seats of the Astra Telepathica and the Astronomica as he didn't trust Psykers.
I mean, yeah. Imperium. That's tracks.
I just love how it goes from, okay, sensible to bit weird, but sure.
Yeah, sure. Whatever.
Shai simply says based.
Yeah, a little based.
Yep.
After this meeting, Waagh hid in Vangorich's office. Waagh expressed anger. He stated that Vangorich was playing regicide and that he killed all the kings except for one, himself. Vangorich never told Waagh his true intentions, and he felt betrayed because of this. He said that maybe if he had told him he was setting himself up as leader, that maybe he'd understand it, but the man he considered a father figure was bound to become one of the tyrants that he'd always hated. Vangorich said he knew nothing of politics, and that despite the fact that he called himself Waagh, he was nothing more than a tool. He would always be the beast cruel, because we have to get the beast in there again towards the end.
He will always be the beast cruel.
Ugh.
And so it was said the War of the Beast was never over, for this beast was always alive.
For this beast was committing slaughter across the sector to create a brand new Armageddon for the Imperium.
Oh God. We've got
You've
like
done
a
it. You've hit all the
page.
bullet points.
Stop. We've got to keep it.
Go, Kirioth, go! Go, Kirioth, go! Hurry!
And the beast said, no, I am the slaughter. So Waagh attempted to make a strike on the Master of Assassins, but funnily enough, Vangorich is better than him. He disabled him immediately. His last words to him were that he preferred him as a free thinker, but another temple could use his services. Waagh fell asleep as a Venenum assassin and would later wake as a fully converted Eversaw assassin. He would be the beast cruel forevermore.
Tragic. Okay, making him an Eversaw kind of is a dick move. I'm not gonna lie though.
Vangorich would rule for nearly 100 years, but as time went on, he would become more and more detached from reality. Shocking, I'm sure you'll agree.
See that coming, yeah.
who would have known? Despite his tendencies, he was effective. I mean, to be fair, he's the Master of Assassins. Of course he was effective. But all good things come to an end. He would become corrupted in the same way as others had, and it was now a problem. He would start to commit... I'm sorry, I've read this several times, and it makes me laugh every time. I don't care who reads this. Someone read this out loud because I can't do it.
He would start to commit random atrocities, and his instability made him unpredictable. He's an Eversaw assassin. That's like his job. What do you mean?
Oh.
That's his damn job. His job is to be psychoactively drugged and turn crazy, and then
this is Vangorich. It's not even.
This is Vangorich.
Yeah, this is Vangorich.
Oh,
Yeah, this is not Isad.
That's even funnier.
Yeah, why do you think I have such trouble with it?
He would just go around killing people.
I don't know
why did he start going crazy?
Because he's a politician now. That's just what they do.
He ruled for like 100 years. He just started going off his face. That's literally all it is.
He's just out of his gourd, brother.
No, honestly, if I had to play politics for 100 years when my job is running a council of assassins, I'd probably get pissed too.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, God,
the Grandmaster of the Officio Assassinorum, the most secretive person in the entire like galaxy, is like, I ruled the Imperium for 100 years of politics. I can't take this anymore, and he just starts shanking people in the streets.
Yeah, pretty much. That sounds like that's what he does. Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh man.
I genuinely like read that line out several times out loud before we started because it made me laugh every time. And I was like, I'll be able to manage this. And then as soon as I got to it, I was like, no, it's just looking at it is set me off. I can't cope with it. So eventually this would come to the attention of Maximus Thane, who is still out there killing things, and he would need to come back and act as Lord Commander. The Phalanx returns to Terra and he sends down 400 Space Marines to the Imperial Palace. 200 of them were Imperial Fists, and the rest of them were a mix of 2 new successor chapters from the 4th founding, the Halo Brethren and the Sable Swords. And if you didn't hear the theme music from Halo Brethren, there's something wrong with you. So the Space Marines were met with a massive assault by hundreds of assassins, which killed half of the Space Marines that landed.
That's 200 Space Marines? Jesus!
The assassins don't screw around, man.
Amen. Holy.
Also, dude, they use the phalanx. Let's go.
Yeah, it happened. I should also add that one of the people killed was the chapter master of the Sable Swords. So, chapter masters still getting shit on in this book series. Doesn't matter how powerful you are, you can get smeared or you can get, I'm guessing, impaled. Yeah. What is that, Shy? Is that from Lexicanum or something? Just the Halo Brethren are a Space Marine chapter.
Oh no. That's their wiki page. Oh no. Well, anyway, so what happens next? 200 Space Marine died, and then what happened?
Yep. Eventually, the palace was secured. Thane enters. He encountered an elderly Wynan. She called him a traitor for giving Vangorich such power. Thane said he was not a traitor. He thought Vangorich would do well, but hindsight is 2020. My bad. Who'd know? So Wynan told Thane that Vangorich hadn't been in the palace for some time. He was in the Eversaw Temple located on the North Pole. Thane took his remaining forces to the temple and were met with the full force of the Eversaw Temple. All the while, Vangorich was proclaiming that he was not ready to abandon his post. The conflict between the Space Marines and the Assassins resulted in a high body count, and eventually only 3 individuals remained. I mean, Jesus Christ, the body count is insane for this. Thane, Vangorich, and an Eversaw Assassin was all that was left. But the Eversaw Assassin, we know who that is, don't we?
It's Isad, isn't it?
Is it M. Shen?
It's the Beast Cruel.
Yeah, it's the Beast Cruel. It's Isad.
Eversaw. Sorry, my brain. It's been 2 hours. My brain farted. Eversaw. Yeah, it's the Beast Cruel.
Mate, it's been 2 hours, 20 minutes.
And does he finally turn on Vangorich and kill him proper?
Look, you can't just be out here skipping to that extent.
Let's go, baby. Episode over. You're welcome, everyone.
Rest in peace, a real one.
So Vangorich told Thane that his life was forfeit and confidently gave the Beast Cruel the order to kill him. Cruel did not do that. He pulled his skull mask aside, trembling, and said that his name was Isad Waagh. He stepped to the side and gave Thane a clear shot to Vangorich. DK, that's probably you, right?
Yeah. Vangorich's eyes widened. He held up his hands. Wait! Did you ever hear the story of the end of Conrad Kurz? No more stories, Draken, said Thane, and ended Vangorich's life with a single bolter shell.
You know, I give him some props. Even to his last breath, he was trying to distract someone.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a reference there that I am disgusted that no one has got.
I don't know. It kind of reminds me of the ending of Breaking Bad, if I'm being honest, but
I can't believe that of the two of you, you didn't also think this like I did.
Did you ever hear the story of Arthur Legus the Wise?
Yeah.
Did you ever hear the story of the end of Conrad? It's the same thing. It's the same.
Different circumstances. One's getting assassinated.
No.
One's corrupting a protege.
I'm sorry. I mean, I get it, but like this is 2015-ish. I don't know if were prequel memes really big at that time. I don't think a ton.
I just want to point out. I said to Possum earlier, if neither of them immediately think of this, I'm going to be disappointed. And Possum was like, Possum was on my side. Possum was like, yes, they absolutely should. So I'm just saying, it's 2v2
now you know how my
right
parents feel.
I think Shy has the casting vote, and honestly, it could go either way. It sort of depends on who she dislikes.
I think Shy's
more
run
at
out
this
of
moment.
liquor and she just doesn't care.
I was going to say it's okay. Hang on. Oh wait, Shy is typing. This is ominous. This could decide the future of. Okay, she just wants all of us to die. Okay, well, you can't argue with that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
As the apothecaries were called in to clean up the mess, Thane looked around the chamber. Of Weagh, or Beast Cruel, there was no trace. Also, don't ask what happened to Terra or anything after Vangorich was shot. That's for another time, and it's just not in the books. So,
all right.
Yeah. They didn't want to cover that. They weren't interested.
Cool.
Move on. What is in the books is the following, and I am quoting verbatim. Absolutely no joke. The last chapter of the last book of this series, is from the perspective of Eldrad Ulthran watching all of this happen, stating that humanity is now focused on chaos, but beasts never die, they're only banished. Citing the battle cry of Mag Urug Thraka echoing through the threads of time while the lights dwindled on the craft worlds. The last line in this entire series is...
It was the Eldar.
There's 12 books. The last line is, Eldrad Ulthran would not mourn. He would see the days of greatness return, no matter how long it took. The real War of the Beast was finishing this whole series, but we did it. Congratulations.
Hooray. My head hurts, actually.
I was really hoping that the Eldrad would be like, these humans, all they do is slaughter each other. And then I hear the audiobook sound effect where it's like, dun 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 dun. This has been audible. And then that whole thing after that.
Yeah.
What? I've already had this conversation with Possum, but I would love to probably very quickly hear your thoughts on it, since we've been recording for nearly 2.5 hours. Fuck me.
This episode ironically had some of the worst and best parts of it.
Yeah.
It's a real roller coaster. Why? And this is a genuine question, and if any of the authors would like to reach out to us, there's contact information, I'm sure, available on the channel, on my channel. We've all got social media. There's a Discord server. Why
please don't take anything we like. I hope you understand that. Please don't be too mad at me specifically.
We have already stated, and I've pointed this out. We've already stated last episode. Everyone involved in the writing of this series has written good books.
Correct.
They have. It's not a case of hate the author, because you've done great stuff. We just don't understand what happened with this particular series. So if someone can maybe enlighten us as to why the last line of a series about orcs fighting the Imperium was dedicated to fucking Eldrad Ulthran and Eldar saying, oh yeah, the Eldar will be great again.
Yeah,
What?
I don't know, man. I'm just
It has no relevance to anything that happened in 12 novels. You can't just stick a random guy at the end and go, you know what? We're going to be good. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Why is that the ending? It's the last line. Oh my God. I can't.
We need to close out before Kirioth has like a literal aneurysm and just.
I'm starting to bleed out of my eyes. I just don't understand.
I'm assuming. I assume it's the same as always. All right, here's the outline. Here are the stuff. Here are the threads. What are we forgetting? What needs to be rounded out? Oh, we got to forget about the Eldar. Stick it at the end. The book is due in 73 minutes. like
if that.
Yeah.
How far in are you? I've done 2 pages. Okay, well, we need 250 more in an hour. Go. I don't. I know the Eldar are in it. I know the Harlequins were in it. I know we had the whole, like, the craft world Ulthway were calming the warp to allow reinforcements, etc., etc. And maybe if it comes down to it, like, Eldrad is the one viewing all of this. He's like the narrator for the story. You got to make that more clear. You can't just drop that in at the end and be like, and it was this guy watching all along, because that's commonly known as dog shit writing.
Commonly.
You can't just drop it in there, you know?
Yeah, I don't. I'm exhausted.
I am
exhausted. This is it's just sprinkling of good ideas and potential that never ever reached its full whatever. It's just I am exhausted.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And I was trying really hard to sort of push through as not. I didn't want to rush it, but at the same time, oh my God, there's so much just weird shit to go through, and so many decisions where you go, okay,
why?
I can kind of see it, but does it fit? And the answer is obviously no for a lot of it. But then there's like really cool moments that then turn out to be not that cool in the end. And I don't know. I'd like it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. We did it.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, it may have taken us like it was fun to experience, like getting waterboarded on a roller coaster.
Yeah, it felt like it was just a lot of unrealized potential. Like the ideas are there, the concepts are there. But it's never realized in like a great way.
I think that's a perfect way to describe it. And look, if you're sitting there thinking, "Oh my God, this has been like a 10-hour series," and the 3rd episode was a significant
because
chunk
it
of that
has
10 hours.
been.
I was gonna say more than 10.
It's. I mean, this one is. We're literally close to 2.5 hours, which is,
wrap it up, Kyria.
You're welcome. I don't know. Just spare a thought for Possum, who went through this entire series, read all of it to bring you the abridged version. You don't have to go through what Possum went through. And that's impressive. Like I did read the series. Admittedly, some bits completely bypassed me. But the fact is, it wasn't good. It wasn't good, and someone suffered for the entertainment. And I feel like we got the best version by doing it this way. So I think if ever Possum deserves some kudos, it's for this. Because Orktober has been simultaneously some of the funniest, most disappointing, and baffling content that we have ever put out. And that is all down to Possum himself.
Mm-hmm.
A
massive
congratulations to Possum. The ad revenue from these videos will go directly to your AA sponsor.
Yeah. Well, the whole time Kira was like, "Oh yeah, Possum had to suffer through this." In my head, "In the Arms of an Angel" was playing, like, from the In the Arms of... Poor Possum had to suffer through reading the entire War of the Beasts. Won't you donate to your local charity to help possums like him who had to read War of the Beast?
Sponsor a possum today.
Yes, buy a shy makeshift plushie to allow Possum to
go and get
survive.
a shy plushie. It's the only way to remedy all of this. It's the only way to fix this mess. Get in a shy plushie, go over there and pledge now.
To end this episode, we will do the most important thing that we can, which is play 2 minutes of a Possum Trow ASMR channel where a possum eats an apple. Thank you so much for listening to War of the Beast.